Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580 or go to elitepower.com.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
The voice of Sacramento sports is back.
Hear Grant Napear every weekday beginning at 3 right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello, Sacramento. Sacktown. And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been? You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
And a good afternoon, everybody. We've got the NBA, we've got the Kings, the NFL playoffs. Olden Polynice joins me at 4 o'clock. And then we've got the dysfunctional Sacramento Kings, where nothing makes sense. You watch the game when it gets down into crunch time. You have a coach that comes out after the game and talks about, well, they went over the play and shoot around. Then you have DeMar DeRozan after the game talk about, how messed up everything is. And I'm paraphrasing. We'll actually listen to all of this sound a little bit later this hour in the show. You've got a team that puts a roster on the floor of 5 players that doesn't work. We know it doesn't work because we've seen it not work. The Kings play well, and then Doug Christie decides to take what's working well and remove it from the game and put Dennis Schroeder on the floor with DeMar DeRozan and Russell Westbrook and Zach LaVine and Max Reno or whomever else, and we know that doesn't work. You have a play at the end of the game where the 2 guys out of the 5 that you definitely don't want shooting threes are the ones that take the threes after DeMar DeRozan starts with the ball up top, dribbles to the right wing, continues along the baseline, is cut off, kicks it out to Schroeder, and air ball 3. Kings come down with the rebound, and Russell Westbrook, who couldn't put the ball in the ocean from downtown, takes a step back 3-pointer to try to win the game. And the Kings, who were beat on the previous possession, why? Because they can't play defense. They can't keep anybody in front of them. A simple dribble drive to elude Westbrook and a kick out to the wing to a wide open player. I mean, in Williams, he hits his second 3 of the game, which ended up being the game winner. Just that, 2 dribbles, bye-bye Russ. Schroeder has to come over to help because Westbrook gets beat so badly off the dribble. Williams is on the wing. Three-pointer. Dallas has the lead. But let's keep on playing Russell Westbrook 31 minutes because he exemplifies the great six pillars that the Sacramento Kings need. So let's put Mr. Six Pillars on the floor. Let's make sure that he's playing 30 to 40 minutes a game, despite the fact that he's 37 years old. And let's not put Malik Monk on the floor, despite the fact that the Kings can't shoot the ball from downtown. 9 of 31 for 29%. They couldn't make free throws last night. Something else that Malik Monk does very well, 11 of 17. Something else Malik Monk does very well, he doesn't wet his pants with the game on the line. He doesn't shoot air balls. But let's not play him. Nope. Let's make sure that we keep him on the bench. Let's make sure that we don't put one of our very best players on the floor because we don't want to do that. Nope, we don't want to do that. And we have a guy that, we don't really know whether he can play or not in Devin Carter, but we have seen him being able to play good defense. Let's make sure he's not on the floor to play defense at the end of the game. Let's put a guy on the floor that's 37 and can't guard his shadow, and let's have him on the floor. It's a freaking joke. The whole thing is a joke. It's a disgrace. And I want to get to this text message. Grant, I listened to your rant this morning. Do you really want the Kings to start winning games now? What I want as a fan, bench all your starters and play the young guys. Well, to the 916, let me ask you this question. If you're going to play your veterans, right? If you're going to have them on the floor in crunch time, which Doug Christie does every night, then you might as well win the freaking game. All right? So, yeah, I do want the Kings to win the game last night. Yes, I did. I wanted them to win the game. You know why? Because the fans deserve it, because they were into the game. And if you walked into the arena in the fourth quarter and you didn't know that the Kings were 8-28, you would have thought that they were 28-8. So, yeah, I did want them to win the game because the fans deserve that. So, yes, I did want them to win the game. I want them to win the game. Here's the 5-3-0. Grant, I am completely done with Doug. Horrible rotations, giving guys minutes who don't deserve to be out there, giving no minutes to Monk, Westbrook, who couldn't throw the ball into the ocean last night. The ball sticks with him every possession. It's so bad, Grant. I don't get why Russ is getting 30-plus minutes consistently. Embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Here's Bill Simmons, another voice. If you're getting tired of hearing my voice being critical every day, here's Bill Simmons on the Bill Simmons podcast.
I don't understand anything this team is doing. Like,
No.
the Westbrook thing to me is the goofiest subplot of the season where you're paying Malik Monk $18 million a year. You're burying him. He's playing either 0 minutes a game, 6 minutes a game. You went and got Schroeder over the summer to be your point guard. You gave up on him basically when the season started, and then you get Russ as an expiring. It's not like he's helping them win games. They're terrible. All they should be doing is trying to build up the trade value of Schroeder, Monk, some of their other dudes. I don't know what they're doing.
Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows. I don't know. Do you know? Doug Christie doesn't know what he's doing. I don't think Scott Perry knows what he's doing at this point of his juncture in his career. And again, I'm being very fair with Scott. I'm going to give him 3 full years. I mean, you go out and sign Dennis Schroeder to be your starting point guard. He doesn't play as a starter. You go out and sign a 36-year-old point guard who's now 37. And because of that, you have limited minutes for Keon Ellis, a guy that you keep raving about that can handle the point, and Nick Clifford, but, you have less minutes for him. Malik Monk, who, this is not even debatable. We are not debating this because this is fact. He is one of the team's best players. Okay? He is one of the team's best players. And when one of your best players cannot get on the floor, then as an organization, it shows me that you don't know what the heck you're doing. It's a joke. It's unbelievable. 916 Grant, when one continues to do the same thing over and over again, that's the first sign of insanity. Time to watch the Sharks games on the other channel, from Tom. Can't disagree with you there. I mean, you tell me. 916-779-0929. You tell me how come the Kings go through a really good stretch, then go back to the prevent offense lineup, or the lineup that's all iso ball, or the lineup that doesn't make any sense to anybody, game after game after game. Here's from the 916. Grant, explain to me why Malik Monk is not playing, please. I can't explain it. I have tried to explain it. There is no explanation for it. Jerry Reynolds, again, last night on the postgame show with Rhino, said the exact same thing. He doesn't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to him. We talk about this almost every single game. And then I got to listen to Doug Christie in the postgame press conference, and we have a lot of sound, and we will play it here in the next few segments, so don't worry about it. I'm just trying to set the table here in the opening segment. You have Coach Christie, who comes on after the games and talks about what they're not doing, what they need to do, talks about how, they need to win, basically, that losing's not acceptable. It's not something we're going to get used to, and we're going to play to a Sacramento Kings standard. Really? You're going to play to a Sacramento Kings standard? In the most critical possession of the game, you've got Russell Westbrook on the Dallas Mavericks point, who gets easily beat off the dribble. I mean, it was not even like a big move. It was a very easy, simple basketball play. Go watch it for yourself. Gets easily beat off the dribble, a quick little draw and kick to the wing, three-pointer, Dallas has the lead. I mean, it's a joke. And you have DeMar, and then Doug comes on after the game and says they didn't run the play correctly, that they went over and shoot around and blah, blah, blah. And DeMar DeRozan, we'll listen to that next segment because it is interesting. And you have DeMar. I don't have any problem with the ball being in DeMar DeRozan's hands. I have no problem at all. Now, I would prefer that, he doesn't get the ball between the circles. I would prefer that there's some realistic ball movement. I would prefer that the offense looks like a basketball team playing in the NBA and not a pickup game where I tell the five guys what to do on the palm of my hand with my finger. I would prefer it look a little bit different, but I don't have any problem with DeRozan having the ball at the end of the game. I wouldn't have any problem with Levine having the ball at the end of the game. I do have a problem with Schroeder having the ball, and I certainly have a problem with Westbrook taking a three. Okay, those are issues that I have. I wouldn't have a problem with getting the ball to Max Reno. Again, it's a game where you don't necessarily need a three there. Okay, you just need a basket. It's unbelievable. No, I do not think this, 209. I do not think that this is orchestrated tanking and playing for ping pong balls. No, I do not. No, I don't. Not surprised of this loss in front of national TV, says the 209. Same thing over and over again, but at least the fans got to see how great Cooper Flagg is. At only 19 years old, barring injury, this kid is going to be the future of the NBA. Jerry Reynolds said it best last night, talking about the Dallas Mavericks and the Sacramento Kings. He hit it right on the head. He said the Mavericks' best player is 19 and the Kings' best player is 37. That's it. And I laughed and I said, wow. Yeah. The Kings are an old team. They're a bad team. And they remain an old team because, well, guess what? Because that's what they want to be. As Rhino pointed out, Doug Christie called the end of the game last night a closing package. Really. Let me tell you something, Doug. You cannot have a closing package with Malik Monk sitting on the bench. Can't do it. You cannot have a closing package with Dennis Schroeder on the floor instead of Malik Monk. Can't do it. You cannot have a closing package with Russell Westbrook shooting three-pointers on the floor with Malik Monk on the bench. That is a losing package. That's not a closing package. So let's change the verbiage when you talk to the media, and let's say that is our losing package. That's not your closing package. It is your losing package. You got to be freaking kidding me. Seriously. An absolute joke. Closing package. No, losing package. Losing package. Doug McDermott played 5 minutes last night in the first half. Malik Monk played 0 minutes in the first half. He played 0 minutes in the second half, which is pretty much the norm now. As a 27-year-old player in his prime, who we already know can play very well and do things that this Sacramento Kings team needs, doesn't play. Explain that to me, because I keep talking about it game after game after game. You didn't score 100 points. You didn't score 100 points. You're 8-29. You've got national media scratching their heads. They are bewildered at what is going on. They make fun of the team on a daily basis. They are critical of the team on a daily basis. And here you are at 8-29 with a point differential of a minus 11.7. The next closest is -8 with New Orleans. But go ahead. Despite having, by the way, this is not even close. The next worst point differential in the league is Washington at minus 10.4. You're light years in the basement. But go ahead. You put your closing package on the floor. Keep doing it. See how that works. I don't understand why these things keep happening over and over and over. I really don't. I just do not get it. It just does not make any sense to me, and it is absolutely embarrassing. There is no other way to say it, and it's not just me saying it. It's those that cover the NBA nationally from coast to coast saying the same thing. Hey, I want to talk to you about my friends at DAS Mechanical. Did you know most homeowners are changing their heating and air systems from gas to all electric? Here's the bottom line, folks. It's about getting more energy efficiency, and it translates into saving money every month on your energy bills. Now, if your current heating and air system is 15 years old or older, it may be time to consider a change. Call DAS Mechanical. Get in touch with them. Nearly all of DAS's work is gas to electric whole system changeouts. Nick Delancey and his team, they are experts in this. This is what they specialize in. They also have 0% financing, 24/7 availability if you ever have a heating emergency. Award-winning, locally owned, family-owned, DAS Mechanical, serving their Sacramento and Placer County neighbors for years. Go to dasmechanical.org. That's dasmechanical.org. You can book everything online, check out all of their 5-star reviews and their numerous Best of the Best awards. That's dasmechanical.org. When we come back, we will hear from Doug Christie after the game last night. We will hear from DeMar DeRozan and more comments from Bill Simmons on the Bill Simmons podcast. And don't forget Olden Polonies to talk more NBA at 4 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages, and they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580, or go to elitepower.com.
The team at Downtown Ford Sacramento wishes you a phenomenal 2026. And what better way to ring in the new year than to treat yourself to a new or pre-owned Ford car or truck? See, the new year means we got to get rid of all these 2025 vehicles to make room for the new 2026 ones. So now's the time to get a crazy deal on a 2025 Ford that is still brand new. And we've got an awesome finance team here, always ready to help you get into the vehicle you want. And look, if you've had your eye on a Ford car or truck, but you're not yet ready to get into a brand new one just yet, odds are we've got a gently used version of that same car or truck right here on site for substantially less. Once you got your Ford, our top-notch service department will keep it running like it's brand new for as long as you own it. With more than 100 years of service to Sacramento, we're Downtown Ford on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center. DowntownFordSacramento.com.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Holden Pollination at 4 o'clock. We will talk NFL. 49ers, their latest injury report, which did not look good with Trent Williams and particularly Ricky Pearsall not practicing. Rhino was at the game last night, the game in which the Kings failed to score 100, lost by 2, and a lot of talk about the end of the game sequence, Ryan.
Good afternoon, buddy. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you, bud.
Good to see you today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very, very, very weird end of the game for sure. Kings got multiple opportunities about it, and the post game got a little bit weirder too when DeMar DeRozan took the podium and he was asked about the offensive struggles. Why is the ball stalling, especially late in the game? Here's what DeMar had to say.
It's what it is, you know. You look around our league.
Oh, excuse me. Here we go.
Just got to be better at execution. Understanding what we could take advantage of, spacing, timing on spacing, understanding, you know, how teams playing us, if they doubling, who they doubling, where they doubling from. You know, I think just being more organized with us, you know, more so than anything. That's the only issue. You know, we don't give ourselves consistently chances to get, you know, good shots off, good looks off. You know, so I think that's all it is.
Fairly benign, Grant. Organization, right?
Yep.
And go ahead.
No, please.
Yeah. And Doug, then after DeMar, was asked about the last play.
We had well, first of all, we didn't have a timeout, but we worked today on a play, and the guys chose to run wide. They're out there. I told them, I almost ran on the court telling them everyone knew the play, and they ran wide, which was, not my choice in that moment. But I do know from being on the floor, if you have a feel in those moments. But the particular play was one that Depot would have been going to the corner, would have missed direction. Zach coming back up through an elevator, and then Keon getting the screen on the backside from Dylan. So you'd have 3 looks at an open look, hopefully. And oddly enough, we went through it today and shoot around, but the opportunity presented itself, and so the execution wasn't what we wanted.
So they didn't want Dennis Schroeder taking that 3 or Russell Westbrook taking the 3. That's right. So they did not run the play that they went over at shoot around is basically the interpretation of that, correct?
That would be correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So they worked on it at shoot around for that exact situation. Then when it's time to implement what you worked on at shoot around, nothing is done. So are they just tuning the coach out at shoot around? Is that what they're doing? They're not really paying attention, and that when it comes time to implement that during the game, it's just went in one ear and out the other? Or how do you interpret that?
It's a really good question. It could be in the middle. Like if the Kings were going back and forth with the Mavericks, right? And Doug says, I've been in those games where you have a feel. There was no feel with the offense when
Zero.
Doug went to Dennis, DeMar, and Russell. They scored 7 points in 9 minutes. 7 points in 9 minutes up until the closing 2:53. So
with no changes basically to the rotation during that stretch, correct?
Correct. And well, you had Keon come in at one point. Levine was on the floor, and then you brought Dylan Cardwell in for the rebound.
Right.
But although the Kings had the foul to give that Dallas took, Doug did not sub in Max Reynaud. He didn't do anything with Dylan. So it could have been the players saying, oh, Dylan's not really familiar with that play. Although he was at shoot around, it's made more for a Max thing. I just think you have to kind of, at this point, lean towards the guys are doing what the guys feel are best.
I watch this team play. I watch the end of games. I watch the rotations. I watch who's on the floor and who's not on the floor. You have pointed this out repeatedly that all too often Doug goes away from what is working to put a lineup on the floor that hasn't worked, doesn't work, and yet there seems to be no deviation from that. And yet he comes on after the games very often down, dejected because the team lost a close game instead of winning a close game. But he being the one person that could alter the rotation on the floor at the end of the game doesn't do it. It's like, again, it just doesn't make sense to me. And we have sound from Bill Simmons from his podcast. I played the soundbite about Russell Westbrook, but I mean, he's befuddled too. He's just one person, but he's somebody that has a tremendous following of the NBA, watches the NBA repeatedly. Him and Zach Lowe at the beginning of the year were saying that this was just a horrible roster, and they pretty much destroyed the Kings. And here we are in the first week of January, and they're once again the laughingstock of the NBA.
And
are they not?
Yeah, they are. And I think just with some simple communication, that gets cleaned up. You talked about Malik Monk, right? In this day and age, the fact that we have not heard Malik's agent or report come out that says the Kings are seeking a trade partner for Malik Monk, it's just odd. By this point, you would think, okay, that's what they're doing. We know that they've moved on. But with Malik just sitting there to your opening, how he is not part of this equation right now at 27 years old is very hard to comprehend while you have him under contract for the next couple of years. But then you have Keon Ellis, who's a free agent at the end of this year, and you've treated him just about as well up until he started getting Monk's minutes.
Again, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Now, I think if you go by rumors, which I don't really pay attention to, but I think in this case, it probably had some truth to it as it pertained to Malik Monk in the offseason. Because almost every day, beginning in July, Ryan, we kept hearing about Malik Monk's going to go to Detroit in a sign and trade. He's going to go to Golden State. He's going to go here. He's going to go there, right? And then training camp starts, and he's still on the squad. Then we're hearing about maybe some other moves that he's going to go here and he's going to go there. And reading between the lines, so to speak, it didn't seem to me that Scott Perry was a Malik Monk fan. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying it appears that way. And now with Malik Monk not playing at all, it really appears that Scott Perry is not a fan of Malik Monk, which is fine.
Yeah.
He's the general manager. That's what he is paid for, to evaluate his roster and make the moves that he deems necessary. And I'm okay if you're Scott Perry and you're not a fan of Malik Monk. I don't understand it, but I'm okay with that. But then as a counter, you bring in Dennis Schroeder and give him a $45 million contract, and then you go out and sign Russell Westbrook, all right, a couple of days before the start of the season, and you have a player who is playing over 30 minutes most nights, and in some nights 40 minutes, which retards the growth of your younger players, Ellis, Clifford, Carter, and Monk. Again, it doesn't add up. Like if you're not a fan of Monk, okay, that's fine. You know what? You evaluate your own players. I evaluate, you evaluate, we as fans evaluate. He uses his expertise, evaluate however you want. That's fine. I'm okay with that. We all view players differently. We all have our visions. I'm okay with that. But then don't do that to Malik Monk. Don't do that to Keon Ellis and bring in a 37-year-old player who's not part of your future, okay, who right now is killing the Kings. Let's just call it the way it is. Let's not beat around the bush. And I listen, I'm a Russell Westbrook guy. I appreciate his professionalism. I appreciate how hard he plays, but he's killing the team right now, killing them. He shouldn't be on the floor at the end of games, period. He should not be on the floor at the end of games. And one of your best closers is on the bench after every he's not in the game, Malik Monk. How do you not have Monk on the floor in the end of games? It's baffling to me.
Grant, I'm going to go a step further. When they brought in Russ, we're like, well, what about Dennis? You just paid him the money like you laid out. Never at the beginning of the season. If you had told me that you're going to have Dennis and Russ together at the close of games, almost every game, if it's close, we would have called that crazy. And it's what's playing out. It's predictable. It's the same movie with an alternate ending. It's either DeMar makes or misses the shot. That's it.
Game after game after game, right? I mean, and it doesn't change. And the team has 8 wins. And I wonder how many of these games that we had like last night, where you look back and go, boy, they really should have won that game. And that was the case last night. The Kings were outscored 54-40 in the second half. And listen, I'm not naive. I understand they don't have Sabonis. I understand they don't have Keegan Murray. Okay, I get that. A lot of the teams that the Kings have played this year also have been without key players. But, I mean, that's fine. But you do have very good players. I mean, you do. And, again, one of your very best players doesn't play for whatever reason. It's just and here's the other deal. Last night, your three-point shooting was pathetic. Your free throw shooting was pathetic. And one of your very best shooters, okay, one of your very best offensive players can't get on the floor. And don't tell me about defense, because you had Russell Westbrook on the last Dallas possession where they made the three, guarding the ball between the circles, and he got beat off the dribble like his feet were glued to the floor. So don't tell me about defense. I mean, you can't have it both ways, all right? Preach what you practice, all right? Practice what you preach, all right? If Doug Christie's going to keep talking about, they need to feel us and we need to be physical, then don't have your 37-year-old point guard getting simply beat off the dribble, which creates a wide-open three on the wing when Dennis Schroeder has got to leave his man to pick up the man that just beat Russell Westbrook off the dribble. Can't have it both ways. Here's the 530. Grant, Ryan, longtime listener, this is Brian. Can I ask you guys to switch it up and talk about football? Hey, let me explain something to you, Brian. First of all, I appreciate your support, okay? I have a 3-hour show. I'm not talking about the NFL for 3 hours. And let me also explain something to you, Brian. This is a show that's based in Sacramento, California, okay? The team that is the professional team in Sacramento is the Sacramento Kings. I'm not going to talk about the Kings for 3 hours. I never talk about the Kings for 3 hours. I made it very clear in my open, Brian, that I would be talking a significant amount of NFL football today. But my lead story on a day like now, on a Wednesday, okay, my lead story on a Wednesday with the 49ers not playing until Sunday is not the 49ers. All right, my lead story, Brian, is the Sacramento Kings, who just had a game last night. All right? And I understand you may be tired about hearing about them, and you say there's nothing good to talk about. There's nothing that makes sense. I would love to hear about the football and the playoffs. I believe since 3 o'clock to now, we get it, all of us people on the radio, please get to the NFL. Brian, if you want to produce my show, call the general manager, and I will give you an opportunity to see if you're good enough to produce my show. But Brian, I'm also going to give you a little bit of advice, okay? When you are working in a market like Sacramento, where the professional team is the Kings, and they just had a game the night before in which they lost by 2 points on questionable coaching and questionable decisions, and a national like Bill Simmons criticizing the Kings, I'm going to talk about it. Now, Brian, am I going to talk about it in the entire 4 o'clock hour? No. Am I going to talk about it in the entire 5 o'clock hour? No. I am going to talk NFL playoffs, as I stated. So, Brian, you have a choice. You can go listen to someone else, or you can continue to listen, since you are a longtime listener, and I appreciate your support, and understand that shortly I will get to the NFL. But the NFL today, on a Wednesday in Sacramento, California, is not the lead story. The lead story is the pathetic, embarrassing Sacramento Kings. That's the lead story. Thank you for your text message. Javier, welcome to the program. Hi, Javier.
How you doing today, Mr. Napier? How you doing today, Mr. Rhino? So,
good.
Didn't get to finish. Thanks, sir. Didn't get to finish yesterday, and it was the fact of in the postgame show. Any good coach displays what they're made of, obviously, with the representation of players. And what's this again alarming to me is, again, 4 integral parts of the Beam team, from Malik Monk to Demonis Sabonis to Keon Ellis to Keegan Murray, have all significantly regressed this season. And that's fact, no fiction. Statistically, you look, not only with the productivity or lack thereof, but also with inconsistent playing time, and most importantly with, again, their lack of production on the court. Now, how in any way, shape, or form can the Kings say that they're going in the right direction organization when 4 of those players who were key pillars to that playoff run and them 3-year Beam team have all dropped off significantly, statistically, in every way, shape, or form, and not even playing, not only regularly, but not playing at all for the likes of Malik Monk, previously Keon Ellis. Even when Demonis Sabonis was healthy, his numbers were significantly, noticeably different, and not drastically, but they were definitely less than what they have been. Malik Monk drastically. Keon Ellis has looked like a shell of himself, and Keegan Murray doesn't know how to hit the basketball with the ocean in front of him with his eyes closed, whether they're open or not. And what's crazy to me is we keep saying we're going to guard 94 feet, we're going to cover 94 feet. Well, when is this coverage going to take place? When are these standards? When is this happening? Because we're 37 games in. Why do we keep having this no reporter come up there and say, you keep saying we're playing what standard? What standard are you talking about? When is this going to happen? Or am I just hearing the words that he's reading off of a script that he's been given to say from Scott Perry and the ownership, that is Coach Christie? Because he keeps saying, we're going to play to the standard. we're going to play to a standard. What standard are you talking about? Because there's no standard being played or being put on display ever. They're just putting a display of losing in every which way. Last night you learned how to lose by being up for 43 straight minutes and losing in the last 2 minutes of the game. So what standard are you talking about Sacramento basketball? Because I know the Bean team standard was they were a good up-and-coming basketball team that was looking to go up into the upper echelon of the league, the darlings of the league. Now they're just a cartoon character of an organization. So what standard are you playing to? I want somebody that has some courage, a reporter, to go ask him, what standard are you talking about, and when does that start? Because we're about halfway through the season, and the only standard we've seen is a standard of losing, loser. So I want to know, am I missing something, Mr. Napear? I don't know. I keep hearing the same cliche saying that he says every game, after the game, rather, and it doesn't correlate to what standard I want to know he's referring to, because I have no idea. Do you know? Mr. Rhino, do you know?
Javier,
Javier,
I may take a cut of what you just said, the entire thing of what you said, and play it at 5 o'clock for Grant's rant, because I couldn't have said it any better than you just did. I will change it into a few words. Actions speak louder than words, okay? And the actions of the Sacramento Kings do not back up the words of what I hear from the coach on almost a daily basis. One has nothing to do with the other.
Because when are they going to cover the 92 feet or 94 feet that you talked about in training camp? When does that happen? Does anybody in the audience that's listening on the radio right now know? Because I've never seen them cover 94 feet.
Javier, I want you to hang on the line because I have something for you, because your call is so spot on and so well done. I'm going to compliment you for this call, and I'm going to give you a $100 gift card from Bennett's Restaurants. So you hang on. Don't hang up, all right? And I'm going to get you that gift card from Bennett's Restaurant, Sacramento, Roseville, and the West Side Grill in Rockland, okay?
Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Mr. Napear. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Don't hang up. I'll put you on hold. All right, there he is on hold. Thank you very much. That is a job well done by Javier. Said, I repeat, the only decent player to come out of Scott Perry's co-regime of the Knicks was Mitchell Robinson. There was never a youth movement. Well, he wasn't in charge of that anyway. We'll be right back. 916-779-0929. And Brian did get back to me saying he loves my response to his question. He said, that's why I love you. You're honest. Of course, I'll keep listening. I'm just frustrated with the Kings and hearing about them. But after hearing what you said, I get what you're saying. My apologies to you. I couldn't produce a bowl of spaghetti at this point. So I think I'll just keep doing what I do and let you do what you do. Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Brian, it's all good. Trust me, my friend. I will get to the NFL. I promise you that, okay? And then at 4 o'clock, from about 4 to 4:20, I'm going to be talking basketball again with Olden Polynice. And then, in all honesty, Brian, most, not all, most of the final 90 minutes of the show will be centered around the 49ers and the National Football League. And I understand you're frustrated with the Kings. I get it. We all are. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll be right back on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted the #1 sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouth-watering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrudes. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans, to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrudes does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabroods, expert 5-star service and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit gabroods.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabroods, Gubruds.
Call the good dudes at Gabroods, Gubruds, Gabroods.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Again, my thanks to Javier. Enjoy the gift card from Bennett's. I'll do that from time to time when I get a call that I think is just outstanding. I'm happy to let Javier know how much I appreciate that. And just to Brian's message, Brian, let me read you some text messages starting from the most recent, the 916. It should be illegal to mismanage the Sacramento Kings to this degree. Also from the 916, loving the everyday constant variety of perspective about the Kings and their saga of mediocrity. From the 916, Grant, should we even talk about the Kings after Javier's call? He hit all the points that most fans are thinking. Very good call. Yeah, no doubt about it. Very good call. Reiner, are you free at the moment, or are you still talking with Javier?
No, I'm free.
All right. Bill Simmons today, he talked a lot about the Kings and hit on a lot of points that you have been making, that I have been making, that Jerry Reynolds has been making. I already played the one about the Malik Monk not making any sense. Was there anything else that really stood out to you?
Yeah, he gave Max some love. He talked about Sabonis and maybe how that might be a harder contract to trade, but to kind of piggyback on Javier's rant, he talks about this Vivek era, and to go back to Javier, you know, a lot of these decisions that have really set this franchise into this tailspin were not Monty McNair decisions, although he was the GM. And so Vivek, we got to kind of stare there and look at why we're here. And Bill Simmons is not the only one who is recognizing that.
All right.
History at being at the bottom of this league. Like they've been in some bad eras, but
I'm talking about the Vivek era. But yeah,
Vivek.
They had Fox and they had Bagley back to back. They were 5 and 2 in those drafts. And it was, not awesome back then either. But I think this is worse though, because they're actually paying a real roster.
It is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a couple of other things to say too. If we can hear the sound, that would be great, because I like to get, I'd like fans to get a different perspective from someone that's on the other side of the country. And Bill Simmons, who lives, I believe, in Massachusetts and has the Bill Simmons podcast, he follows the whole league, but it's interesting to get other people's perspective.
Yeah. What about Frank Isola and Brian Scalabrine, our buddies over at Sirius NBA Radio?
I mean, it feels like the Kings play every single day, and it feels like every time we talk about them, they lose. They're 8-29. Now, two teams are worse. Indiana has 31 losses. The Pelicans have 30. But right behind them is the Sacramento Kings. They got to be making moves by the deadline. With all the old guys that got in their roster that start and come off the bench, they got to be trying to get rid of those guys, don't they?
I don't know if anybody wants those guys. Anybody wants Zach LaVine's $50 million?
You want Malik Monk?
I like Malik Monk, but he makes $20 million.
He does. All right. That's a problem.
And then, I think people like DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook. It's just like, let me tell you what happened. The NBA is shifted into team basketball with the emphasis to get the ball to your best players. And they play like old school, like dribble isolation and all that stuff. You can't win like
that. I mean, and Brian Scalabrine just saw the Kings because they were just in Sacramento.
Up
so he just got a chance to look at the Kings a couple nights ago. You're right. You can't win like that. I mean, he hit it right on the head.
But you know what's ironic about it? DeMar was asked about the isolation basketball last night.
It's what it is. You look around our league, winning time, kind of go through your best players. I think that's just the game of basketball in our league. You run your set. That initial set don't work, you kind of got to rely going through your best players, playmaking or being able to get to a spot and make a shot. That's what it's all about. We gave ourselves a chance. The last couple of possessions, they hit a big shot. We reacted off, trying to clog the paint. So AD wouldn't get it. They kicked it out. Young fella hit a big shot for him.
No, what happened, DeMar, is that the ball ended up between the circles, and your 37-year-old point guard got easily beat off the dribble and kicked it out to Williams, and Schroeder, who had to come over to help on Westbrook, who had just got beat badly off the dribble. Then there's no rotation, and there's a 3-game winning shot. That's what happened. Had nothing to do with Anthony Davis. It had to do with the fact that Russell Westbrook, was not able to stay in front of his man and was easily beat off the dribble, which enabled the Mavericks to get the shot that they wanted. That's what happened.
But do you see the macro view, and you're correct 100%, is what Doug Christie's trying to preach, right? It's this team basketball. It's the King standard. It's the ball moving, which I think Dennis Schroeder's done a much better job with that second unit doing that better than Russ, because teams are just dangling that carrot in front of Russ.
Of course
they're giving him the space because they know he's Russ.
So why is he on the floor?
Exactly. But DeMar's defending ISO basketball. And you've got Christie going the other way, which takes us back to our original question. Is it the inmates that are not listening? Or I should say the hostages that are not listening? Or is it the volunteer who's being ignored?
Well, first of all, in DeMar DeRozan's case, let's also talk about a 36-year-old who throughout his career has been one of the best ISO players of his era. Okay, so that's how he has made his living. But it's not, I don't like where he got the ball between the circles. I want to get him the ball, elbow, wing, back to the basket, where he can see if a double team is coming. And if not, he can work his way to his favorite spot on the floor, where he is basically money.
Yep.
All right, I don't want him dribbling the ball between the circles, and that's not where I want him to have the ball. Okay, I want him catching the ball. I want him having the ball delivered to him in a offensive set where he can do what he does best, where number one, he can see if a double team's coming, and if not, he can use his great ability to get the shot off over the defender.
Amen. And Doug talks about, you remember when he was asked about offense about a month and a half ago? And
not a problem.
Offense. Right. Time for Doug to step in, according to him.
Yeah, I mean, and holding them to 100 points defensively, solid enough to win the game. And, I have to figure out a way to help them offensively. Ball has to move. We came out in the third quarter and it wasn't it. We have to make sure that we're finding the ability to move the ball and move bodies. That means the ball has to go from one side of the floor to the other side. Guys have to cut with pace, put pressure on the defense. And just the second half was, part of it is our offense also affects our defense. And that just can't happen. We have to find that rhythm for sure.
Well, it's been happening all season.
Say
it just can't happen. Here we are. It's January and it's still happening.
So I go back to what he said right before that. Those are the truest words he has spoken all season.
Mm-hmm.
Our offense affects our defense.
No question. 100%. Yep. 100%. Speaking of 100%, that's the quality service you're going to get from Spencer Grimmenstein at Village Financial Group. Loads of experience. He began his family-owned business, Village Financial Group, in 2000. I've known him since that time, and I can vouch for him about how good he is at his job, his occupation. Family-owned business, and if you're buying a home in 2026, if you're looking to sell your home equity line of credit, Spence is your guy. He is a specialist when it comes to financing. He is very creative. And keep in mind that he has access to private money. Call or text Spence at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. And be sure and call for the investor special. Give him a call. You'll be happy that you did. And if you want to look at all of the properties available, just go to their website, vfgloans.com, and everything else about Village Financial Group. VFGloans.com. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Don't forget, Olden Polynace is going to be coming up in a couple of moments. I've got Grant's Rant at 5 o'clock. And yes, Brian, we will be talking a lot of NFL football because the playoffs begin on Saturday. And before that, we've got the college football playoffs, the semifinals. Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com, tomorrow at 4 o'clock, right before kickoff, to break it down for you, and we'll get the latest on who he thinks. He was very high on Florida Miami last week. He really was. He was talking about, he thought, talent-wise, that they are the team, and they showed that last week in their big win, Miami. So here we are with the semifinals, and we are going to be talking about the college football playoff. Who's going to be playing for the trophy? Who's going to win the semifinals? What do you think? Who do you like? Do you like Oregon or Indiana? Do you like Ole Miss or Miami? Are we looking at an Indiana-Miami national championship game? Are we looking at Oregon, Ole Miss? What do you think? We'll talk about that as well. Olden Polynace when we come back right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
The team at Downtown Ford Sacramento wishes you a phenomenal 2026. And what better way to ring in the new year than to treat yourself to a new or pre-owned Ford car or truck? See, the new year means we got to get rid of all these 2025 vehicles to make room for the new 2026 ones. So now's the time to get a crazy deal on a 2025 Ford that is still brand new. And we've got an awesome finance team here, always ready to help you get into the vehicle you want. And look, if you've had your eye on a Ford car or truck, but you're not yet ready to get into a brand new one just yet, odds are we've got a gently used version of that same car or truck right here on site for substantially less. Once you got your Ford, our top-notch service department will keep it running like it's brand new for as long as you own it. With more than 100 years of service to Sacramento, we're downtown Ford on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center. DowntownFordSacramento.com.
It's the All Things Legal Show, heard every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Join your host, Craig Ashton, with an entertaining and eclectic view of all things legal. Saturday mornings from 8 to 9. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrud's.com.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. Looking for the best happy hour in town? Head to Bennett's, where every day from 2 to 6, you'll find flavor, fun, and serious value. Enjoy over 10 wines by the glass, country club style cocktails like lemon drops, skinny margaritas, and crave-worthy share plates. Short rib tacos, chicken wings, calamari, and more, starting at just $6. It's upscale without the uptight. 3 locations, Roseville, Rockland, and Sacramento. Join us today or check out the menu at bennettsrestaurants.com.
Tell your friends. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst. K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
Well, as we turn the calendar to 2026, there have been some surprises, I think, in the NBA. And a former Sacramento King, a former guest of this radio show, nice enough to join us again, Olden Polony. So, P, Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy New Year.
OP, if you were on the floor in your prime right now, how do you think you would try to defend Victor Wembanyama? Yeah, I thought you would like that question.
Oh man, 7'4", 7'5" with the shoes on, extremely long and talented. But you know what? I mean, I played against guys that were that height before, but they weren't as talented. I mean, a guy that can shoot the three, can put the ball down as a guard. It's insane right now seeing this. And I was critical in the beginning of, when he got drafted, because I was like, hey, I've seen Ralph Sampson play against Ralph. I've seen, Bo, I've seen Sean Bradley, Manu Bo, all these people that are long. And, in the case of Ralph Sampson, he was ahead of his time. But that kind of combination, and I've said this recently, when Wembanyama learns how to play basketball, because he still doesn't know how to play basketball, like the game within the game, because you see it sometimes when he plays. Yeah, but when he learns and gets into his man body, whatever that's going to end up being, similar to what Giannis became, it's over. He's rewriting the record books.
It is over. Barring injury, I think that probably in 15 years or now, we might be calling him the greatest player of all time.
I believe so, with what I'm seeing, because it's absurd. Like I said, to have the skill set of a point guard and to be able to shoot the three the way he does, going to the basket is going to be his thing. A lot of times the contact affects him. So, again, that's just a lack of strength. He still doesn't have his man strength.
Do you think that they are ready to compete for a championship, or do you think that their maturation level still needs another year or two? Because you really look at a lot of the key players on that team are still very young. How do you gauge the Spurs?
Oh, I believe, in the future, they are definitely a championship team. And again, the statement about, learning how to play, it bodes for all of them. Even like a De'Aaron Fox, even though De'Aaron Fox been in the league a couple of years, but he doesn't have any championship pedigree. He's never been in that situation. He's still learning and getting better. The young guns, Castle and Harper, they're learning how to play this game. So it's going to take some time. And the key for me is this, and I use the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder are a young team, but they're very mature. And I think that's the difference with a lot of teams. You can be young, and be mature like Oklahoma City Thunder, or you can be young and immature. And so I'm not calling these guys immature, but they just don't have that level of maturity like OKC has. And until they get that, it's going to be a while. But I like what they have right now, top to bottom, and that's why they've beaten Oklahoma City 3 games, because they are just better, in my opinion. As far as athleticism, they have those long wing defenders, and they're not afraid. And that's a key component, not being afraid. That bodes well for them.
Olden Polynice joining us right here, Fox Sports NBA analyst. You can follow him on X at Olden Polynice 1. I really hate to bring you down and talk about the Sacramento Kings, but they are so bad. They have a point differential of almost minus 12. There's nothing that is going on here in this city that makes sense. They're an old team that's bad. They are just, I guess, for lack of a better term, dysfunctional. You probably don't watch the Kings play a lot, but when you do, what jumps out to you?
I do watch the Kings.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you're torturing yourself. Is that what you're telling me?
I love basketball, so I'm going to watch games. But yes, I do like torture.
All right, so you tell me, what do you see when you watch the Kings?
It's so frustrating. I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell, and it happened the other night. 10 seconds on the clock. Kings get the ball. Russell Westbrook with the ball. And the young fellow, Reynard.
Yeah, Reyno. Yeah, Max Reyno.
Reyno had a wide open layup. All he had to do was go to the basket. And Russell was yelling at him. And that epitomized everything about the Sacramento Kings season in that one moment. Because it's like, dude, you have to always be in the moment. And the problem also is this. You have a Zach LaVine and a DeMar DeRozan. Mm-hmm. 2 all-star caliber players. We know what they've done. They're not really committed to this. They're not. They want to be somewhere else. I promise you that. And it's unfortunate, but they're not playing as if they really want to be in Sacramento. And these are things that I see from watching so much basketball and knowing how this thing works. Russell Westbrook's going to give you 100%, no matter if he's at the men's gym. But I don't think it says that it speaks to everybody on that team. And granted, now they have injuries, but they were still playing the same way when Keegan was there and when Sabonis was there. Yeah. So it's a tough situation right now. It's a tough watch. It really is.
So, OP, here's the question that I have. Is the team has 8 wins. They have, as Jerry Reynolds says on our postgame show very often, they're an old team, and it's okay to be an old team when you're winning, but it's really bad to be an old team when you're losing. And then they don't have any room for Malik Monk. The guy is 27. He's in the prime of his career, and they have relegated him to the bench. He can't even get on to the floor, and yet this team, like last night, shoots 29% from 3. They only make 11 free throws. They don't score 100 points, and you have one of your best players that doesn't even get onto the floor. It's like nothing makes sense here anymore.
It doesn't. And so and again, fans have to ask the question, what is really going on? Are trades, in the midst? Because for Malik Monk not to get on the floor in that game, in that situation, Malik Monk should be playing all the time.
Yes.
So apparently they don't want to win. Apparently they basically resigned themselves to, hey, we're going to be a lottery pick, and so we're going to give away games. And that's what it is. And it's unfortunate. Again, I always go back to fans. People pay their money. I've been a proponent of this for a long time, and I've been saying this. If it was Coca-Cola, let's use them as an example, and you put crap in that can, it might be crap already now. But if you specifically saying we're going to put salt in this can of soda every night, and we expect you to pay for it and drink it, you would not do it. And it's
Correct.
pretty much the same thing with basketball with a lot of these teams. They're giving us trash a lot of times. You know, they're not putting their best foot forward, well, because we want to draft. I don't care about draft picks. It's going to still make you weak. You're still going to lose games because it takes young people a long time to develop. And so to me, try to win your games. You know,
Sure.
Try to put the best product out there. Malik Monk needs to play more than anybody else on that team.
I totally agree with you. I've been saying it every day. You've been in a lot of situations. You've been in good situations. You've been in bad situations. Take me inside a locker room. And I know you can't say this with 100% certainty because you don't know what's going on inside the Kings locker room. But I'm talking about the feeling when, as a player, particularly as a veteran, you look around and you go, wow, what a mess this is. It's a clown show. Nothing makes sense. The rotations don't make sense. This doesn't make sense. We can't compete. We're losing every night. Like, how hard is that for a player? It's got to be absolutely brutal.
It's very brutal. And that's why I said earlier, DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, they've checked out already. They already have. Yep. And again, it goes back to, you know, is it the coaching? Does Doug have the locker room? Are they listening? Because we've always said, you know, when a player chooses a coach out, it's over. It doesn't matter what you do. And guys are good enough. We've been good enough for 75, 77 years. However long the NBA's been around. To tune a coach out and still go out and play.
Yeah, you know.
Because it's mostly instincts anyway. And so to me, that's the problem. Again, are the Kings relegated to just getting into the lottery? And if that's the case, then a Malik Monk is not going to play. And then they're going to start shutting down DeMar. And the trade deadline's coming up. So that, you know, we have to wait and see what happens after that. So there's so many of those components. But again, as players, they're going to just, you know, they're going to collect the checks, go through the motions, and it is what it is. Because we all have eyes. Everybody, these guys sit there and look at the record. They know what they are. They're not winning games, and they know that. But again, certain players are going to give you effort, and certain are going to just give you enough to where you don't talk bad about them.
Something I've never talked to you about, being from Haiti and then being in Harlem. And, you know, I know that on your bio, you talk about the New York City Hall of Fame. What life lessons did you learn in Harlem? And what was it like from a basketball perspective, being on the streets of New York City?
Oh, man, that's a great question. So much. Not everybody's your friend, number one, you know, no matter what they say and do. I do believe, you know, one of the things that I learned was from my high school coach, John Carey, that people are going to talk about you from the day you're born to the day you die. You know, you don't let that get to you. You got to believe in you. And I think that was what boded well for me, is the fact that I had such a big belief in myself and what I can accomplish. I was able to make it out of Harlem and make it into the NBA after 5 years of playing basketball, because I had a strong belief in me. And that's it in a nutshell for me. It's the fact that I didn't listen to anybody tell me I couldn't do it. I heard everybody say, oh, he's no good. He's never going to make it to the NBA. You know, I heard them say it, but I didn't believe them. I believed in me and what I was capable of.
So what stands out to you the most? You just pretty much summarized it for me, but what were the tough times like in Harlem?
Finding food.
Yeah.
Seriously, I grew up on welfare, finding food, being able to eat. It's funny. I love sharing this. When I got to the University of Virginia, they had training tables. So my first training table at the University of Virginia, and I see steaks, I see potatoes, and I'm like, what the hell is all this? I'm not eating steak at home. We eating whatever the cheapest cut of meat is.
Wow.
And so having pancakes for the first time at Virginia was like insane to me. Having French toast. I'm like, what is this? French toast? What? So it was stuff like that. Everything was new to me, each and every day. And people always forget, my freshman year, we went to the Final Four. That was my third year of playing basketball.
Wow. Really? Is that right?
Yes.
You didn't start playing basketball until your high
So
school
my
years?
sophomore year, I learned how to play as a sophomore. Junior and senior years, I became an All-American. And freshman year at Virginia, I led the team to the Final Four.
Wow.
That's insane.
Man, I'll never forget playing a lacrosse game against Virginia in my freshman year. And it was our second game of the year. And we had horrible weather in Bowling Green, Ohio, and we couldn't get out on a lacrosse field because it was covered in 4 feet of snow. So we had to practice. And I've always talked about this story. Our first game was against Navy. And I go to line up. I'm starting on attack my freshman year, and we're at the Naval Academy, and we're playing Navy. And I'm lining up to start the game, and I'm looking at the Naval boys across from me, and I'm looking at the guy that's going to guard me. And I'm sitting there at age 18 looking at the guy that's going to guard me with the long lacrosse stick, and I'm saying, I'm going to get killed today. This is not going to be fun. I'm going to get destroyed. And then our next game was against nationally ranked, because Navy was a top 10 team, nationally ranked Virginia at Charlottesville. And I'm like, I think I had the ball in my stick once or twice. We got killed. So that my memories of Virginia are a little bit different than yours, my friend.
What year was that?
That was 1977 or 1978 was when we played Navy and Virginia, the spring of 1978.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So cool. I'm old, man. I'm an old man.
Yeah,
I'm
they
66.
They were ranked when I was there. They were ranked.
They were great.
Team was always good.
They were always good. They were good. They were really, really good. Those were the times. So, I mean, you said you didn't really start playing basketball as a sophomore, but like I've always heard about the legendary pickup games on the outdoor courts in the 5 boroughs of New York City. We've always heard about the great New York players. So what was it like in that aspect when you just go and there's a pickup game of basketball down, on whatever court in Harlem? What was that like?
Well, I literally lived across the street from Rucker Park. I lived in building 1 of the Polo Grounds. And Rucker Park was it's a 20, 30 step walk. And so I was not a basketball player. On weekends, I would see it's crowded and all that stuff. Oh, they're playing whatever. I knew the name of the game, basketball, but I wouldn't go out there until I learned how to play the game. That's when I started going. And to see, all these legendary players there and learning from a lot of them, it's insane. And, I don't share a lot of this stuff, but it's like I learned from some of the greatest players to never make it to the NBA.
Really? How about that?
Yes,
wow.
Which is a great thing to say because it showed me that it takes more than just your basketball skills.
Uh-huh.
A guy like Joe Hammond, who played the Destroyer. It's like watching him play on a weekend is the most incredible thing in the world because everybody came to see him. The great Walter Berry, Gary Springer, Kenny Hutchinson, who went to the University of Arkansas, who I thought was going to be the next Magic Johnson. And so they told me, hey, you got to work on more than just your skill set. There's other things.
Sure.
You got to know how to talk to people. You got to know how to deal with people. There's so many different components that go into becoming a professional.
Who, other than a family member, who had the biggest impact on your basketball career?
John Carey, my high school coach. because he was
And
the guy that
what was the
made
biggest?
me
What was
believe
the?
in me.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What was the biggest thing that you
Oh,
took
no
away
problem.
from him?
Just what I said. He made me believe in me. He taught me that. Don't say the word can't. That was one of his favorite phrases. I can't do this. I don't want to do it. I can't. Stop saying that word. I don't want you to hear you say you can't do anything because you can. You know, stuff like, and Mr. Carey's like 5'2", maybe on a good day. 5'2", but he was so imposing. I mean, he casted a shadow bigger than my dad. And I consider him a father figure because he was just a guy. You know, it wasn't about the basketball. You know, it wasn't, oh, I want him because he plays basketball. I didn't play basketball. He taught me how to play the game. He taught me everything from the first time putting the ball in my actual hands to teaching me every aspect of the game. So he had the most influence on me.
You were very good, as you said, All-American. You had a really good NBA career. Do you ever wonder what your life would have been like if you had started playing basketball in grade school instead of high school?
No.
Well, think about
I
it.
don't live like that, Grant.
But I mean,
don't,
think about it,
because
though. If
it
you
would
had
be
10 more
different.
years of experience of playing basketball before you started playing, can you even imagine? Like, you don't think about
No,
that?
I probably would hate basketball. You know, it's weird because when it happened, it happened. So, and I'll go back and say, I wonder. But yeah, and then I say to myself, okay, I've already seen it. I've seen guys who started early and they burned out. And so to me, I think I started when I was supposed to start, you know, because I came from a different culture, different background. And so, you know, playing the if game, it doesn't serve me well.
That's an interesting point because now we hear about youth sports and travel teams, and you know you're forced really at an early age to be a one sport person. The multi sports now are our kids are not playing sports. Like, I don't know how it was for you, but you know, when I was growing up, you know, I played football in the fall and I played hockey in the winter and I played lacrosse in the spring, and I was never pushed into one sport. I played them all, and I look back on my youth and it was the happiest time of my life in terms of playing sports. And now, you know, our youth are forced into playing one sport, go to travel teams, do this, do that. And so many get burnt out, OP.
There it is. And that's what I'm saying. And see, the word you use, you were happy. And
Yes.
so to me, that was the same with me. I came into this on my own. I wasn't forced into it. So I appreciated basketball a lot more. I played soccer as a kid, so it gave me the footwork. You know, these young kids today, no, it's all basketball. It's basketball or nothing. That's why they all getting injured now, because they're not developing all the other muscles. You know, if people don't ever, I wonder if people ever ask themselves this question: why is it that the NBA has gone to 3 hours maximum of basketball practices that you can have as a team, even in training camp? You know, we used to do 3 hours each session at least.
Right. Yeah.
Now you only have 3 hours total, and it might even be 2 hours. You can only have one practice. You can only do this. But it's like you have that. Then you have private planes. You have chefs. You have cooks. You have therapists. You have everything you can ask for under the sun. Why is everybody getting hurt more?
Great point. Great point. I talk about that often. Great point. I love having you on. It's so fun. It's nice to go into different areas with you because the one thing you've never been short on is opinions, wisdom, life experiences. I love it, man. Thank you very much. It's great talking to you again.
Oh, thank you, Grant.
You take care. Enjoy. Bye-bye.
All right, you too.
Yep, take care. Olden Polynice, great stuff. I really enjoy talking to him. And I'll never forget the day that we were into it, and I had to be very critical of him for what happened in the locker room with a reporter of the Sacramento Bee. And I had to criticize him, and I came down on him, and it was pretty animated, and we kind of went through a rough patch. And then all of a sudden one day, unannounced, he calls my radio show and apologizes to me. And it was something I'll never forget. because it opened up my eyes to, you know what? Hey, I'm not perfect. I've done things that I've had to apologize for. And here's a guy who's a professional athlete, professional basketball player on a team that I announced for, calling a radio show to say, hey, I'm sorry, man. And I just wanted to make it up to you on the air. And I'm like, wow. Like, that it takes a man to do that. That has always stuck out to me. I have major respect for Olden Polynice. And I love listening to him. I could talk to him every day. I love it. I hope you do too. When we come back, Brian, if you're still listening, I got great news for you, Brian. When we come back, I'm going to talk NFL football. That's right. The National Football League, college football. Yes, football talk next, right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Brian says he's still here. NFL, yay. LOL, go Kings. See, I like that. Brian's still listening. See, that's awesome, man. That makes me very happy. Thank you, Brian. All right, so let's talk about the 49ers. And the key for me, as I look at this game, and I think that most people would agree, very simple. Okay? Who's playing and who's not playing? Because when you look at this game and you look at the impact of not having Trent Williams, that is huge. And if you don't have Williams, which I don't think that they will, and we don't see Ricky Pearsall on the field, which, again, we don't know yet, that is going to be bad news. for the 49ers. I think, and if I'm just going by their recent body of work, if I look at what Phillip Rivers did in terms of moving the ball up and down the field, when I look at what the Chicago Bears did, when I look at how Seattle controlled the clock and the 49ers were not able to get off the field, I don't know why I think that they're going to be able to do any better against Philadelphia. Like, I don't understand why all of a sudden they're going to be able to flip a switch and get off the field against Philadelphia. If you couldn't get off the field against the Colts and couldn't get off the field against the Bears and couldn't get off the field against the Seahawks, and you have another significant injury on defense with the absence of Bethune, why would I think that anything's going to be better when you're going to take on the Philadelphia Eagles? And it's the National Football League, and how quickly things can change. Last week at this time, we're building up the number 1 seed matchup in Santa Clara. We're building up the 49ers and the Seahawks and, the number 1 seed and a week off. And, the 49ers wouldn't have to go on an airplane and they could be playing in their own stadium for the Super Bowl. All right? And now here we are, a week later, and we're asking ourselves, are the 49ers going to be a one and done? And quite frankly, I don't see them winning this game. I really don't. And again, when you look at D. Winters, he didn't practice today. Trent Williams didn't practice today. Ricky Pearsall did not practice today. If you don't have Williams for this game, which I don't think you will, and if you don't have Ricky Pearsall, which, again, I don't know, he missed practice again with the knee, he didn't play against Seattle, and we know that you don't have another linebacker in Tatum Bethune who's out for the rest of the playoffs, why would I think they're going to be able to go into Philadelphia and win? The one thing I would say about the Eagles, they do have a big game quarterback in Jalen Hurts. And he makes plays, and we know he does so because we've watched it. And if I can see Seattle run for 180 yards against the Niners defense, why would I think that Saquon Barkley's not going to have a big game? Now, Barkley has not had anywhere near this season that he had last year, and I think that also corresponds with the offensive line this year, which has not been as good, and they have had injuries. I'm talking about, Philadelphia on that offensive line. So it hasn't been as good, so that's part of it. But if I'm looking at the Eagles, at home, 49ers, the travel, not a big deal. Time difference, not a big deal. I don't even talk about that stuff. They've been good on the road this year. That's the one thing. The Niners have played very well on the road. But I don't like this matchup. I don't like it. And I'm looking at the injuries for Philadelphia. And what, Jalen Carter, he's got a hip issue, questionable, but he's going to play. He's huge for the Eagles. Lane Johnson, foot, their outstanding offensive tackle, was limited in practice today, which means he'll be fine in all likelihood for the game. You got to have him on the field if you're talking about the Eagles winning. Dallas Goedert, limited today, knee. He's huge for what they do. Nakobe Dean, limited today, linebacker. But again, when I'm looking at the Eagles, they had a week off, so they're fully rested. When I mean they had a week off, they didn't play anybody. They didn't play their regulars. Help me out, Niner fans. 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. Why would I think that the 49ers are going to go into Philadelphia and get off the field defensively when they didn't get off the field for big parts of the game against the Colts, the Bears, or the Seahawks. And now you're down another starter, at least down one more starter, and maybe two. Why would I think that they're going to go into Philadelphia and get off the field defensively against the Eagles? I think it's a real problem. And again, if I'm San Francisco and I win the toss, give me the ball. Let me dictate this game. Let my offense, which is my strong point, put points on the board, simmer the crowd down a little bit. Let me play with the lead in this game. If I'm looking at this from the 49ers perspective, I want the ball to open up the game. That's what I want. 916-779-0929. Of course, you got the rest of the NFL schedule, and you look at the games this weekend. And I asked this the other day, I think it was maybe on Monday, about who would you think of all of the wild card games, whether it's the Rams, Carolina, Green Bay, Chicago, Buffalo, Jacksonville, Chargers, Patriots, of course, the Niners I just talked about, the Texans. Of all of the teams on the road this week, Rams, Packers, Bills, Niners, Chargers, Texans. Who do you think has the best chance to win? I think the Rams have the best chance. I'm going to put them at number one. I think the Texans have the second best chance at number two. I think the Texans will beat Pittsburgh, and I think the Rams will beat Carolina. I have no idea what state the Packers are in right now. I think that's a toss-up game in Chicago. The Jaguars should beat the Bills, but you never know what Josh Allen and the magic that he's going to pull out. The Patriots, to me, should beat the Chargers. And right now, I think the Eagles should beat the 49ers. Even though I would not say when healthy, there's no way I would put the Eagles above the 49ers right now. But based on injuries and based on everything else, I think the Niners are in real trouble here. But I think the Rams and the Texans, the two best opportunities to get a win on the road this week. Let's get to Mike in Galt. Hello, Mike.
Grant, how's it going?
Good, Mike. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I'm doing pretty good. I just have a problem with Philadelphia. So they could have had the number 2 seed. It seems like it didn't matter to them. Now, is this correct? They seem to target the 49ers.
No,
what do you
no,
think
they
about
just
that?
were they were not targeting the 49ers. They were simply trying to give their regulars a rest.
Okay. You see this happen with the Kings when they were good. It seemed like I think it was Beam Team 1. The Lakers might have targeted a Kings matchup. I don't think it happened. We ended up playing the Warriors. But I hope the 49ers win. The Eagles won last year. I'm just totally going for the 49ers. I don't like Philadelphia. I don't do that. So I know that you, Grant, you being a Giants fan, who are you going for?
I don't really care. I'm not one of these people that because I'm a Giants fan, I want the Eagles to lose. I'm not rooting for them. Now, if it were the Cowboys, I would be picking against the Cowboys. I don't hate the Eagles the way I hate's too strong of a word. I don't dislike the Eagles as much as I dislike the Cowboys for this reason. The Cowboys fans are delusional. They're unrealistic, and they are just the Eagles fans are realistic. They're hardcore fans down to the bone. And when I mean hardcore, I'm not saying the Cowboys fans aren't into their team, but Cowboys fans are delusional. Eagles fans are realistic. They know when their team stinks. They know when their team is not good. Cowboys fans never admit that. They're delusional. I don't really dislike the Eagles the way I dislike the Cowboys. Now, would I ever want the Eagles to win? No, I'm not like that. I don't root for them. But you know what? As a Giants fan, I don't care who wins in the playoffs anymore.
Okay, one more thing. How do you see the 49ers? What would be the path for them to win? Could they take out the weapon of Saquon Barkley? If Hurts throws an INT or two, because the 49ers, they haven't had a lot of turnovers this year. So maybe.
Well, and they don't get to the quarterback.
That would be.
And that's the other issue.
really
They do not get to the quarterback, which limits their turnovers because most turnovers are caused when you get pressure on the quarterback. And they have not been able to do that this year. And that's another aspect of this game I don't like.
Well,
I mean,
hope
seriously.
the 49ers shock everybody.
Yeah, listen, I don't think it would be a shock. I don't think that's the right word. I don't think shock. It's not going to be a shock if they win. I would be somewhat surprised, but I'm not going to be shocked. The Niners are a good team.
Okay, Grant, let me ask you one more thing before I let you go. Buffalo Bills, could this be the year that they get into the Super Bowl, right? Because back in the day, Chris Berman, his dream matchup, which was kind of mine long, long time ago, was Bills 49ers. Could you imagine if it was Bills 49ers somehow, some way making it to the Super Bowl?
Chris
Berman,
I would say the
pop the
chances of that are highly unlikely. I don't see any way in the world the 49ers are going to win 3 games to get to the Super Bowl with their roster the way it is right now. I don't see it.
Okay, so has there ever been a wild card? I could be wrong. Was it Steelers? Did they make a wild card run to the Super Bowl when they
Many
had,
teams have won a Super Bowl as a wild card. Many teams have.
Oh, okay.
Sure, many
Okay,
teams.
so
I'm a Giants
you're saying
fan.
there's a
They've
chance.
won Super Bowls as a wild card. Many teams have won Super Bowl as a wild card. Being a wild card it's not that big of a deal to go and win a Super Bowl. I mean, you play an extra game, but so what? Momentum has a lot to do with these things, and if you're playing well, you don't mind playing an extra game. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Appreciate the phone call. Hey, I want to talk to you about DAS Mechanical. When it comes to your HVAC system, they are specialists in HVAC retrofitting and service. They also do new systems, family owned and operated. What I love about DAS Mechanical and their business model and why they've been so successful. I mean, I look at customer service, which to me is number one on my list when I'm talking about HVAC. Like, okay, heating and air, I need an unbelievably reputable company with tremendous service. And that's what you get at DAS Mechanical. And just go to their website. You can look at all of their 5-star reviews. And again, we talk about awards. They have numerous best of the best awards. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens because they do stellar work. All right. Family owned and operated, homeowners, businesses for commercial maintenance. DAS Mechanical will take care of you. Remember, HVAC retrofit and service specialists. They also do new systems. And if you should need financing, there are many options, including 0% interest for 18 months. Go to dasmechanical.org. D as in dog, A, S as in Sam, mechanical.org. And again, you can book everything online at DAS Mechanical. Once again, that's dasmechanical.org. We'll come back and we'll get to more of your messages and phone calls at 916-779-0929. Grant Napear, Fox Sports, Sacramento.
Are your lights flickering more than a disco ball? Tired of your office coffee maker and server room fighting over that one working outlet? Call the pros who keep the juice flowing. Elite Power Inc. Elite Power Inc. is the commercial and industrial electrical contractor who takes your power and lighting seriously so you don't have to. Elite Power Inc. handles everything from rewiring ancient office buildings to installing cutting-edge control panels in factories. Their IBEW 340 electricians have more certifications than your printer has error messages. And they promise not to judge your breaker panel's creative labeling. Get plugged in with Elite Power Inc., where sparks fly, but only in a good way. Professionally trained technicians, 24-hour electrical service, maintenance, and repair. Project estimating, the knowledge and skill for any commercial or industrial need. Call 916-739-1580. That's 916-739-1580, or go to elitepower.com.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. At Bennett's, it's all about bold flavors and fresh handcrafted food served with genuine hospitality. Craving prime hand-cut steaks? We've got them. Fresh salmon, halibut, or giant Mexican prawns? We've got those too. At Bennett's, we serve premium seafood and steaks in a relaxed setting. Whether you're joining us for a special night out or a casual bite, we'll treat you like family every time. Find us in Sacramento, Roseville, and Rockland. View our menus and make a reservation at bennettsrestaurants.com.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Homeowners, if you have an electrical project you need done, then you need the good dudes at Gabrudes. Family owned and operated for 30 years, Jay Gabrude and his team are the area's recognized experts for everything electrical, from the very basic like repairs, lighting upgrades, and whole house fans to the biggies, panel replacements, EV stations, and backup generators. Gabrudes does it all and does it right the first time. They're actually the guys their competition recommends. Gabrudes, expert 5-star service and always transparent, honest prices and solutions. Say goodbye to your electrical issues. Visit Gabrudes.com or call 24/7 and speak with a real live person. Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrudes, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabrudes.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Been a good hour. Olden Pollinase. Good stuff. Love it. 916 779 0929. What do you think? What do you want to talk about? What do you think? You want to go football? You want to go back NBA? You don't want to talk about the Kings, right? We've done that already. Ryan, we played most of the sound that we needed to.
Yeah, I think so. I'll look over it one more time. I think we peppered the subject.
I don't know what else to say on the Kings.
You know what? Why don't we hit this really quick? DC, the ISO closing package.
So for us, there's a couple different ways. We can run elbow, we can run ram, we can run flat, which, you're picking on somebody, you're trying to find a matchup. And in the first half, closing it, Debo did that, and he was able to get the ball to elbow and put shooters around him, and we got some really good looks. Late, we didn't get to it as much as I would have liked to. Me calling it and them in a flow is two different things, but they know. I mean, this is a closing package. That's the whole point of a closing package, is to get the ball where you want it in the closer's hands, and then you allow him to make the right decision, whether that is shooting the basketball or they overhelp like we did with the kid who knocked down a three-pointer and they kick it out and he knocks down a shot. That's the whole point.
What do you think about that?
I don't disagree with it, but you need to mix in some of the young guys with DeMar DeRozan. You need to get them those moments as well. I mean, hidden in all this negative that we've talked about today, Max Reynaud, if you need him, Grant, we thought he would be pretty good offensively, or he's even exceeded expectations there, but defensively, Napes, he has absolutely stood out the way he can guard and willing to come out on the perimeter, and he's ran the gamut of the bigs in the NBA, and he's taking some of that pounding, and he's still got so much to grow with size and being able to take that first hit. It's starting to spread across the league. In fact, Doug and DeMar were both asked about the bigs, and DeMar said exactly what I'm trying to say right now. Those guys need to be on the floor in the big moments.
I mean, it's great. The best experience you could have is, being in the moment and actually seeing it in real time. Those guys playing, Max went out there competing with a Hall of Fame, big. That's the best way to learn. A rookie going up against AD, battling, you can learn a lot from that. So all those guys that get an opportunity to go out there and play, it's definitely going to pay off for them.
No doubt about it. Max has grown up much quicker, as you were just saying, than I expected. I mean, he's got people not only in Sacramento, but others noticing at how fast he's developing.
Absolutely. He looks like he belongs, Grant. He actually, I'm going to say it right now, he doesn't look like a rookie.
And Nick Clifford looks like a rookie. Max Reynaud does not look like a rookie.
He does not, no. And I'm going to get critical really quick of Doug Christie here. Everybody's saying I'm babying Doug Christie. I want to bounce this off you before we play this soundbite. I think one of the bigger problems that we are not recognizing is Doug is using words that are usually reserved for like special. I think of LeBron James. I think of Luka, a incredible shot at the end. Those are thrown around as adjectives to describe things all the time. He's using extraordinary language for ordinary plays or good plays. And I think that is something that needs to get better, but he was asked about the bigs as well.
So for us,
that's his closing package. Excuse me. Here's the bigs.
These are moments like you can see Dylan. Dylan brings I don't know the word, but it's something. There's something that he brings to the gym that is special. And watching him compete, watching Max compete, yes, super proud of the way that they went about it because, he's AD and he's going to score buckets, and they fought and they were physical. That was part of the game plan. We got to make sure that we're physical, and both of them were. Don't leave here with your fouls. They did not. And, probably even should have gave Precious a little bit more in that regard. Like a lot of this, I'll take this and blame on myself. Those guys played good enough defense to win the game. I have to figure a way to get them over the top. And I'll go back and kill myself, I'm sure, in a lot of different ways watching it, but such is the seat.
Well, your thoughts on that, what we just heard?
I mean, aside from the language, I think he does need to look at those things because the strength of this team quietly has been that second unit when it gets mixed in. And even Precious, I got to tell you, from the first day Precious got here, Grant, to see, and you knew he was a good player, but to see him continuing to evolve this season. And commonly, he's one of the guys that's out when I'm able to get out to the games and watch player development before the game. And these things that you are seeing in the game, whether it's the three-pointer, whether it's the drive from the dunker spot at the top of the key and able to finish, he has been working tirelessly at these things. And now you're seeing them in his game in the explosion. He's just getting into better and better shape. I've been very impressed with him as well.
All right, I want to get to this from the 916. Any surprise that the Kings' highest-paid player, Zach LaVine, didn't call for the ball in the final moments of the Mavericks game? Well, that's not true. I watched that play a couple times, and, I mean, Russell saw him. He was on the wing and elected to take the shot. He didn't think that was the best option at that point. I wouldn't say he wasn't calling for the ball. I mean, Russell saw him. It's not like, he was standing fairly close to him. So I don't know if I would agree with that. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't.
The final sequence? Yeah, I don't either.
I don't. DeMar was critical of the last shot in the final sequence. Check out this little hidden gem that he puts in at the end.
The last one, wish we could have got, to my point, just being more organized, understanding what we could get instead of, trying to rely on a, one leg 30-footer to go in. Just got to give ourselves a better chance, get a shot off, make something happen.
Got to get a better shot off. I don't think anybody would dispute that.
I mean, did you have
that was terrible.
Okay, but was that a little shot, a one-legged 30-footer?
Yeah, it was, but it was true, wasn't it?
Absolutely. 100% true.
You know what that is? I'll tell you. You remember in training camp? I want to take you back to training camp.
Please don't. Okay.
No, I want you to.
Yeah.
Because it goes back to, do you remember how the season ended in the play-in game against Dallas, right?
I do.
And you remember DeMar DeRozan after the game, and we talked about his comments and his dejection and how, I'm paraphrasing, he had never experienced anything like this.
Mm-hmm.
He's going through the exact same thing again. He's just saying it differently. That's exactly what that comment was last night. That's the exact, and I don't blame him. I understand his frustration. He's a tremendous player, and he's in a horrible situation. I get it.
You're right. And to your point, he's removed a filter to a degree, because at Media Day, he started off, we didn't even ask the question. He called last year an S show right off the bat and talked about how hard it was to process through all that over the summer. And he's been very candid throughout the season. And so I don't blame him. I mean, the ball, as you perfectly pointed out, should be in his hands. It's about how you get him the ball and who's getting him the ball.
Isn't that the key? I mean, I didn't like the last play, even though Doug said they didn't run the play that he wanted them to based on a shoot around. But the point is, that's not how you want to get. That's not where you want DeMar DeRozan with the ball in that situation.
No, you want to have him be able to have two options, two turns, right? You don't stick him right where the double team can come from multiple spots. Just don't.
Yeah. Again, if you want to get involved on the conversation, 916-779-0929. That's 916-779-0929. We've got 1 hour left. I've got Grant's Rant coming up, and I also want to talk some college football. Right now, you think Indiana's the team to beat in college football?
Yes, I do. Followed by Miami. Miami's on a run right now. They're playing good football.
They are. Boy, I'll tell you, Chris Landry hit it right on the nose last week when he talked about Miami being so deep on both sides of the ball. He was spot on with his analysis. So we'll have him on tomorrow. Looking forward to that.
Grant, I just think Indiana is a throwback team to before the portal, where guys played 4 years together, and they're so physical. They're so united in one purpose. It's one of those teams that could tell you the play that they're going to run and still run it successfully down your throat. I just don't see anybody stopping them. And Fernando Mendoza, make fun of him on the internet. This kid's IQ's off the charts. Did you hear that he asked for all of his teammates' profiles and pictures before he stepped onto campus day one so he could learn?
Isn't that something?
About them and know their names. He did the same for the Heisman Trophy presentation for past winners.
Is he going to be a Raider?
It seems like an odd fit, doesn't it?
I'll tell you one thing. The Raiders better not make a mistake with this pick, because their future depends on it. And they have a long way to go. They better not mess this up.
Let me ask you a question. If Manning was across the back of his jersey, would you believe it?
Yes.
Me too.
He's special. He's special to me.
Yeah.
And he's got all the characteristics that I would look for when I want that quote unquote leader. in addition to being really good.
He's genuine.
So, yeah.
He's genuine.
Boy, is he ever.
Man, love it.
Yeah. All right. Again, 916-779-0929. We've got Grant's Rant still ahead. We will open up the phone lines if you want to talk NFL, if you want to talk college football playoffs. Yes, indeed. We can do all of that as we roll right along. The middle of the week, talking about the Kings' last game, which was not real good last night against the Mavs, particularly down the stretch. Yeah. We're coming right back with Grant's Rant right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted the #1 sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouth-watering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our #1 priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrud's.com.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Whenever a head coach like John Harbaugh parts ways with the franchise, it naturally forces everyone to ask the same question. What is the plan? Moving on from a Hall of Fame coach is rare. Skepticism is justified. Elite head coaches are hard to find in the NFL, and history tells us the grass is not always greener. But sometimes growth requires discomfort. The Eagles made a difficult decision with Andy Reid after 14 seasons. It felt risky, maybe premature, and it led to 2 Super Bowl titles and a complete organizational reset. The Patriots faced a similar crossroads with Bill Belichick. After 24 seasons, 6 championships, the Patriots started to decline. 2 years later, they flirted with the AFC's top seed. None of this erases what Harbaugh accomplished in Baltimore, a Super Bowl title, nearly 2 decades of relevance. But after 18 years, the Ravens needed a reset. Letting go of a legend is never easy. Sometimes, though, it's necessary. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
Start the year with a splash of flavor. Heartland Steakco's Reef and Beef Package combines juicy steak and fresh seafood for the ultimate celebration. With the Reef and Beef Package from Heartland Steakco, you will be feasting on Maine cold water lobster, jumbo USA sea scallops, 16-ounce USDA choice ribeye steaks, and 8-ounce filet mignon delivered straight to your door. Don't wait long, because the Reef and Beef Package from Heartland Steakco will not be around forever. So treat yourself or pick one up as a gift for family, friends, clients, or anyone who loves that true Midwest taste. Ordering is easy at heartlandsteaksco.com. And right now, when you spend $199.99 or more, you'll get free shipping plus $26 off with promo code NEWYEAR26. Give the gift of flavor this year with Heartland Steak Co. That's heartlandsteaksco.com, promo code NEWYEAR26. Taste the Heartland difference.
Grant Napear is back every weekday afternoon, 3 to 6. This is Fox Sports, KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst, K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento.
It's time for Grant's Rant.
Yes, Grant's Rant, my favorite time of the day. What do you have for me, buddy?
Grant, we've talked about the language problem in the NBA. It goes both ways. If the fans need to clean it up, so do the players. After hitting a big three last night and a fan prior to it telling Luka he's trash, Luka responded, "What did you say, mother effer? What the F did you say?" Video is going viral online.
Yep.
Second option, Jerry Jones, breaking news, said his goal is to retire with the most Super Bowls. Thank you, Captain Obvious. And third option, anybody that's complaining about Tom Brady being involved in the selection of another Raiders coach, what are we doing? You've seen him in the play calling booth. What did you expect? Move on.
As far as players getting into it with the fans, every player understands that there is a mechanism in place to deal with fans that say things that cross the line, etc. All right? It's called team security, and every team has multiple people that handle that. And as a player, if you feel that a player has crossed the line, all you need to do is go to team security and they handle it. Instead of you now being all over the internet with a viral video, which does not put you in the best of light, it doesn't do Luka Doncic any good. It doesn't do Kevin Durant any good. It doesn't do these other players in professional sports, such as DK Metcalf, any good to go and mix it up with a fan. It is a lose-lose situation, plain and simple, okay? That's it. It is a lose-lose proposition for an NBA player. Why do you allow the fans to get under your skin so much? I really do not understand. I really don't. I don't get it. Go to team security. Let them deal with it. Focus on the game. Do your freaking job. Okay? Do your freaking job. And instead now, people are talking about this, as you said, viral video. Doesn't put you in a good light. You're Luka Doncic. Okay? You're one of the main guys in the NBA. Act like it. Stop yelling at the refs. Play the freaking game. And stop allowing those in the fans to agitate you. Stop it. Okay? And stop yelling at the refs all the time. It's unbelievable to me. Seriously. And we see it all the time. Over and over and over. We see it. I don't get it. I don't understand why the Kevin Durants of the world get so sensitive over social media, especially from followers that only have like 10 people following them. Who cares? Who cares? Ignore it. Why are you letting somebody on social media that has 10 followers to upset you if you're Kevin Durant? Why are you, Luka Doncic, having to respond to the fan in that magnitude? It doesn't suit you well. It's not a good look for you. It's a bad look. Stop yelling at the refs. Stop cursing out the fans. Okay? And let's get on with it. Would you please? You can do better than that. It's a bad look. Plain and simple. It's a bad look. I've never liked it. I've never understood why players allow the fans to get them in this type of a situation. Ignore them. Go to team security. Cross the line, go to team security. And that's my rant for today. What was your initial reaction, Ryan, when you saw the video of Luka Doncic? Tell me, what was your initial reaction?
I mean, it's hard to blame him. He's playing in New Orleans. There was only like one fan in the building. You're going to hear the guy all game. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't even, you know what, that part of it, I didn't even take into account that it was in New Orleans. No, I'm serious now.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even didn't even enter my mind.
No, it's just, it's another thing to add to the resume of unsavory for Luka. It's another reason that I firmly believe this would not have been a smooth marriage between the fans and Luka here in Sacramento. It's just, he can't be the face of the NBA. You can't do it. Yeah. He might be the informal face, but the NBA is never going to get behind him as the face like that.
Got to drive Adam Silver crazy, too, when he sees this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, we'll take phone calls 916-779-0929. Again, that's 916-779-0929. Said, appreciate the love for Precious Achua. The Knicks could have used him the last few games with Josh Hart being out. Knicks are not doing well right now. No question. You know, you look at what is going on with the Knicks and, you know, how the tabloids are. Boy, they're letting them have it already. They really are. They are really letting the Knicks have it. And that game against the Pistons, that was embarrassing. That was absolutely embarrassing. There's no other way to say it. That was an embarrassing performance against the Detroit Pistons. Big game like that, and you get blown out, that's embarrassing. Let's get to Big Al. Big Al, you're on with Grant Napear. Go ahead.
Yes, I am, Mr. Grant Napear, sir. I apologize. So, since you're tied in, and I love basketball, you love basketball, although you loved great stories you told us about your ice hockey days. So when the draft came out and the Kings had a great opportunity to get AKA the big whiner now, that's what I call him. I mean, I'm a Lakers fan, but I don't like the way Luka acts. We've seen a few greats over time. You know, Durant has a bad rep. Wilt kind of had a little bad rep on that too in his period going way back. But can you imagine now the Kings fans, some were so sad when the Kings didn't hold on and keep Luka, but you would have Luka the whiner in Sacramento. Oh my goodness, that could have been drama many times.
It's still, you would have put up with it. It would have. It was a huge mistake not to take him.
Right. I know you do that, but I mean, tongue in cheek. Yeah, it's just I'm totally with you, Grant. I'm totally with it's God. I mean, would you even want any kids that are aspiring to be great players and all that, just from the attitudinal aspect, like high school kids and stuff, to even be anything close to him? No. So I'd be fascinated if I could have gotten tape back when he played at a very young age in the Euro Leagues to find out, you know, is this just him? Has he always been this way? Or did he have anything that kind of set him this attitude he now has? You know, because he's a mega star now. So maybe he has that sense of entitlement to stardom. That's, you know, it's amateur psychology. That's all.
Okay, but it still would have changed your entire franchise, and it would have still have given you immense flexibility, even if it didn't work out in Sacramento, if you had taken Luka. I mean, there's no way around it. It was, first of all, the biggest mistake was not made by Sacramento. It was made by Phoenix. They had the number one pick. They're the ones that should have taken Luka Doncic, and no one ever talks about that.
Yes, Grant. There's many, and let's face it, probably now in our current basketball watching lifetimes, when you think about, and nobody said, oh, I never saw that, never saw it coming. Can you imagine where the Joker went and how many teams passed up on that opportunity. I mean, it would have taken
Yeah.
some deep scouting, or maybe you could just say the Nuggets, flip the coin, threw the dice, whatever. Say, take a shot on this athletic looking, and I don't want to be racial here, white guy, and say, you knew he was skilled. He had skills there. I saw some tape. He had skills. He's like, no, he can't compete versus, American NBA stars with athleticism. Oh, really? Multiple MVPs? Really? Yeah, that was a big miss. But it, Grant. You study. I've seen it.
Well, what's the talk going to be
place.
about What's the talk going to be about Max Reynaud? Already, I look at all the teams that are thinking, "Gosh, we had a chance to take Max Reynaud, and we didn't do it."
Yeah, he looks pretty good. I know you. I think you like him. Yeah, he's
I like
good.
him a lot. I think he looks very good.
Yeah, well, good for Sacramento. I'm happy for Kings fans. I talk to my Kings fans at church all the time, and I kind of feel sorry for them. My dad converted. He taught me to be a Lakers fan because I grew up down there, and then I'm late, and then he converted when we moved to Sacramento. And I said, Dad, okay. And, the thing that killed him worse was he'll never forget, the infamous, as Shaq says, the Kings absolutely should have just had that championship or opportunity for championship back, 201, 202. And they just, whether you want to say they got jabbed because of refereeing, but also a lot of missed free throws. Anyway, that was a great Kings team, a great Kings team.
Missed 14 free throws in your home floor on Game 7. You can't blame that on the refs.
Right. Anyway, Grant, always good to talk to you, but that's why I love your rant on Luka, and I just had to say, hey, I'm with you, and I should wear my Lakers gear, and I should kind of go after him, Luka, and that, because he jokes and that, and if you watch him at L.A., I watch him on the home games L.A., and he's joking with the crowd and a happy face, but he can get salty. He can get real salty.
Al, good hearing from you. Have a good evening.
Take care.
All right. You do the same. 916-779-0929. Again, that's 916-779-0929. From the 916, Grant, Doug needs to be fired already. I'm tired of hearing he's in the rebuilding stage. He's a lousy coach. Can I perform this poorly at my job and say, I'm rebuilding? If the Kings were doing good, Doug would never use the word rebuild. I don't have a problem with the word rebuilding. That doesn't bother me at all. My issue is with what he is saying, and he is not backing up actions with words. That, to me, is my biggest issue with what's going on with the Kings. It doesn't make sense to me. The moves at the end of games don't make sense to me. Malik Monk not playing doesn't make sense to me. Nothing makes sense to me.
You're also ignoring what has been a very strong suit of this organization, which is advanced scouting and development. Look at what Stockton's done the last couple of years. Gabriel Harris, GM down there, fabulous job with 3 different coaches.
Yep.
Keon Ellis, undrafted. Isaac Jones, undrafted. Dylan Cardwell. You can go on and on and on there. And I think because of the way the league is right now, it's like, go young, take your bumps, learn along the way. Would Atlanta have ever found out that they have a pretty darn good core had Trae Young not gone down and they had to play young guys? Probably not.
Good point.
So that's also the very frustrating part, because if you put together a list of the things that the Kings have done well, you have to list that near the top with the player development and what they've done down in Stockton.
There's another name we really haven't talked about. I like what I'm seeing from Dylan Cardwell. I mean, he's a guy that's proven he can play in the NBA. He is somebody that clearly has shown that, okay, you know what? There's a future there. I'm not saying an all-star. I'm not saying necessarily a starter. I'm just saying that, he looks like he belongs, and I think that's been a real positive.
Dylan Cardwell is born with that Doug Christie gene that enjoys, and some basketball players, you're born with it or you're not. that enjoys the nuances, the physicality. Don't care if I score, just being a disruptor. And he will get, if he continues to get time, because I think the game's too fast for him right now, especially on the offensive end. He's not reading the floor. He's going to spots like they teach you, like when you're doing a play in practice. As that all slows down and he gets more athletic and comfortable in that body, yeah, there's a lot of promise there, Grant. A lot.
All right, 916-779-0929. We'll take a time out. More of your text messages, your phone calls, right here. The Grant Napear Show, Fox Sports Sacramento.
Tired of the same old routine? Need a place where the beer flows and the good times roll? Then head to Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Family owned and operated, so you know you'll feel right at home. Catch all your favorite games on 18 big screens while enjoying amazing food. And with 28 beers on tap, you're sure to find something you love. And don't miss everyday happy hour from 3 to 7 and again from 10 till close. Looking for more than just the game? Trivia Tuesday starts at 7 p.m. And there's Mario Kart and bingo nights for even more fun, too. There's always a blast happening at Fieldhouse. Whether you're looking for a place to watch the game, grab a bite with the family, or just unwind with friends, Fieldhouse is the place to be. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, 1833 Fulton Avenue. Bring it to the house.
Hey, it's Grant Napear for Village Financial Group. I have known broker-owner Spencer Grimmenstein for 25 years, ever since he began his family-owned business. Whether it's a home equity line of credit or buying or selling a home, Spencer is a very creative financing specialist with access to private money. Check out Village Financial Group at bfgloans.com or call Spencer at 916-805-4868. Be sure and call for the investor special. And if you go to their website, bfgloans.com, you can find over 9,000 properties available for purchase. Folks, Spencer is awesome. Trust me. Again, I've known the guy since 2000. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Call 916-805-4868. 4868.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Never going wrong with Earth, Wind, and Fire. Love it. Yeah. Never gets old. Thank you, Rhino, for a little Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, that always makes my day. Love it.
Got it, buddy.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much. If you're not in a good mood, which I'm in a good mood, then that puts me in a good mood.
Have you ever seen them in person?
Yeah, I did. I saw them up at Lake Tahoe once later on in their 10 years. Well, shouldn't, but yeah, it was phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Such an awful concert venue, by the way. Terrible.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry, but that's awesome.
Yeah, 916-779-0929. I haven't been to like a ton. Most of the concerts that I've been to were at Arco. So those were most of the concerts I've been to is at Arco Arena. What about you?
Yeah, Arco for the most part, and a lot of them in Wheatland or the Sleep Train Amphitheater. I've been to a number out there. What was the first concert you ever went to?
I think Leonard Skinner at the Nassau Coliseum in the late 70s. I believe it was right before the plane accident. And it was the Encore Sweet Home. It was Freebird, right?
Wow.
And Sweet Home Alabama. So Sweet Home Alabama, and the last song was Freebird. It was unbelievable.
Freebird guitar.
I mean, it was incredible.
Solo.
I'll never forget it.
Wow. How old were you?
I was in high school.
That's awesome. Love
Yeah.
it.
I mean, incredible.
Did you ever used to go to the concerts at Cal Expo when they had an amphitheater there?
No, I don't think I ever went to a concert at Cal Expo. You know, the best concerts I ever went to in Sacramento were at the old Woodlake, the Radisson, and they used to have the smooth jazz and all of the top smooth jazz musicians. And I always tell the story. It's the last time I talked to Wayman Tisdale. It was Dave Koz and friends, and Wayman was touring the country with Dave Koz. I mean, you could go see Boney James and, again, Huge Groove, and I can go on and on. All of the real top of the very best of the best in smooth jazz. And I loved it, and I loved sitting outside. It was in the warm months of the spring and summer, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful venue outside. And so I knew you would know Tom Huskins. Tom was the promoter. I say Tom from the days with the Gold Miners and all of the, he was worked with Fred Anderson, and Tom was the promoter. And so I would buy my tickets directly through Tom, and I paid for him, and he would get me really good seats. So I go to see Dave Koz and friends with my wife, and we're sitting there about 5 rows from the front. And Tizzy's on the bass guitar, and, he's jamming, and he's got that big smile. And they get to one of the songs when Tizzy is actually, part of the lyrics. Tizzy would mostly just play the bass guitar, but so he's got a song where the lyrics, and I stand up, and Tizzy sees me, okay? And he has the biggest smile, and in the middle of the song, he goes, "Grant Napear." And I'm like, "Tizzy." And then he points to me, meaning like at the intermission, "Come see me." So I go to the green room during the intermission. I let security, they go, "Yeah, go ahead." They take me back there, and I talked to Tizzy for about 10 minutes in the green room right next to the stage during intermission. And he had already had his leg amputated. And we were talking about, hey, he was good. He was all good, no problems. And it was the last time I ever saw Tizzy. It's the last time I ever talked to him. And I remember giving him a big hug. At the end, he's one of my favorite, forget about players. He's one of my favorite human beings that I've ever met in all of my years of being on planet Earth. And his wife and family were so nice. They used to have me over for the holidays when I was single and new in Sacramento, and they knew that. I'd come over for Thanksgiving and go to the Tizzy house for Christmas. And he was just, he was the best. And that's the last time I saw Wayman Tisdale. Last time.
44 years is too young, but...
Oh, what a great man. I had just a great man. Great man.
To think about what I would assume one of your dreams, playing in the NBA and living that out, and then getting to live out your real love of music as you've laid out. He traveled with his bass guitar.
Yes, he did.
And get to do that professionally. I mean, that's pretty cool. Too short, but pretty cool.
This message from the 209, Grant, flying to Singapore in February on ANA. What should I do while I'm in there for a few days? So you're going through Japan, then an 8-hour flight to Singapore, Changi Airport, the best airport in the world. Singapore is a spectacularly beautiful city. It is the cleanest city that you'll ever be in. The skyline is absolutely incredible. You want to go to the gardens behind the Marina Bay Sands Hotel, Casino, and Resort. It's a spectacular venue. They have a incredible, I don't want to say museum, but it's an area with nature and flowers and just incredible waterfalls. And so you want to go back there for a half a day. I think you want to go on to the water at night where you can get panoramic pictures of the city. There are other areas to go in Singapore. It's fairly small, so there's not like a lot of different options if you're talking about a few days. I would go to the Marina Bay Sands and check out their lobby. Their casino is unlike any casino I've ever seen in my life. You must have your passport, so make sure you have it. You will not get into the casino without your passport. But even if you don't gamble, just walk around and check. Oh, you're taking your teenage son as well. He will not be able to get into the casino. Well, definitely go to the gardens behind the Marina Bay Sands. It's spectacular. Also, when you leave Singapore, give yourself an extra hour and go to the Jewel in Terminal A. If your flight is not leaving from Terminal A, but you're leaving from one of the other terminals, or I should say Terminal 1, but you want to go see the Jewel, you can Google it. It is the most amazing airport terminal in the world. I think they spent $1.4 billion to build that terminal. It also has a huge mall with unlimited food choices and restaurants. But Jewel with the water feature and all of the greenery is spectacular with a capital S. So have a good time and bring money. Singapore is unbelievably expensive. It is a very expensive city. Says, thank you. Always enjoy the travel segments. Enjoy. It's a long flight. Again, once you get to Tokyo, you think, oh, wow, I'm in Asia. 8 hours from Tokyo to Singapore. Ryan, what do you think? You want to do that trip? Go to Singapore?
I would do the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Me too. I've been to Singapore 3 times. All right. And it's one of my, it's a spectacularly beautiful city. And years ago, I want to say probably more than 10, about 10, spent 2 nights at that Marina Bay Sands. That's the one with the infinity edge pool that goes along the entire top of the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. It's got the 3 towers, and on top of the 3 towers is the pool, and there's a Wolfgang Puck restaurant. But the pool is on the 56th floor, and it's infinity edge, and you can literally go to the edge of the pool and look down. It's like, whoa, boy. And you have nothing but the city skyline in front of you on the other side of the water. It's incredible.
You know what's sad about that? Instead of imagining what you just laid out, all I'm thinking about are these stupid AI videos that are going all over social media of what you just described, like the infinity pools bursting.
Well, I did see a video just yesterday of that thing that you're talking about. And I'm like, that's the bad part of AI. It really is. It's
awful.
Yeah, it is awful.
But that sounds awesome and expensive at the same time.
Well, when I went, we actually got a room. It wasn't that bad at the time. Now it's really gone up. It's very expensive. Obviously, you have the Singapore Grand Prix there, the F1 race in September. So you don't want to go there in September because it's incredibly expensive and very hot and humid. I mean, there's a high season and a low season in a lot of countries in Asia. So if you're going to go to Singapore, try to go in the low season. It will save you money. But if you're going to stay at the Marina Bay Sands, it is now very expensive.
Why do I think we're going to get a call from Lynn about the Singapore F1 here?
Oh, I'm sure.
In just a few minutes.
Sure.
Now, we're actually thinking about doing I'm pretty sure Liam's not listening, a quick Disneyland trip. And I was picking the brains of some of the guys in the media last night, a couple that are huge Disney fans. We're thinking about doing a drive day, a day at the park, drive home the next day. Do you think it's worth it, travel expert?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
We were going to do the whole surprise, like, hey, can you throw a couple things in the bag, please? We're going to go to lunch.
I think when you can put a smile and joy on a child's face doing anything like that, yes, absolutely. I think it's always worth it.
Well, I can put a smile on a child's face without
By
getting
giving
robbed.
them ice cream.
Without
Yeah.
getting robbed by the ears.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand.
No, it's a special experience.
From the 916, I'm flying to New York City. Which airport is the best to fly into between JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark? It depends. Are you going into Manhattan? Are you planning on taking a taxi, or are you planning on taking mass transit? I mean, Newark is very easy. There is the shuttle train or the airport train right to Amtrak, and it will get you right into Penn Station, and it's very easy. So, like, from that aspect, if you're going into Manhattan and you want to save money on a taxi, that's a way of doing it. JFK, same thing. You can fly into JFK. You can take the airport train to Jamaica Station. I think it's $5 to take the airport train to Jamaica Station. You pay $5. You go buy your ticket at the window. Boom, $5. And then you have about, I don't know, 100 paces to the Long Island Railroad. Trains are leaving every 10 and 15 minutes right into Penn Station in Manhattan. Depending on peak or off peak, it's going to cost you about $10. And you can go that way, which is easy. LaGuardia doesn't have that. So if you're in LaGuardia, you either have to take the bus into Manhattan or you have to take a taxi. So, excuse me, if it were me and you don't want to take a taxi and you don't want to take an Uber, if it were me, I would fly into, I love flying into JFK. So I would fly into JFK, but both JFK and Newark are pretty easy. Just depends what airline you're on, where you're going, what you want to do. But if you're flying and you're going to Manhattan, I would recommend Newark and JFK for taking the train as opposed to a taxi. Save you a couple bucks. See, Ryan, I'm always trying to save people money.
Look at
you know what I mean?
I know. You should be charging for this kind of stuff. It's expert.
Nah, you know, I like it. It's my passion. I had somebody, one of my buddies called me up just the other day and told me they're going to Switzerland and where they should go. And I've been to Switzerland like 10 times. And I'm like, okay, how long are you staying? Who you going with? What's your budget? Like, what time of the year are you going? You know, and I laid it all out. So I got them completely covered on their trip to Switzerland.
So I'm going to combine your two worlds, sports and travel. If you could travel to one football game this weekend, excluding college, what would it be?
That's a great question. One football game this weekend. Where am I going to? Well, I don't like the cold, but I'm gonna not use that as my criteria. Okay. So like I wouldn't say, well, I'm not going to that game because it's too cold.
Okay.
So, all right, the one game I'm going to this weekend on Wild Card Weekend, I'm going to the Texans and the Steelers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I want to experience the terrible towel in the Steel City and the crazy fans of Pittsburgh. What about you? My second choice, by the way, would have been Packers-Bears, but I'm choosing being at a home game for the Steelers in the playoffs. What about you?
I'd probably go Packers-Bears.
Okay.
That's where I was going to go.
All right. Had the game been at Lambeau, that would have been my number one choice.
Night game at Lambeau or night game at Notre Dame?
For me, night game Lambeau, because I'm more of an NFL fan than a college fan. I know what you're doing. It's not even close. But for me, I would choose Lambeau because I'm more of an NFL fan than a college fan. Even with the historical perspective of Notre Dame, I would still choose. See, part of that is I've been to Notre Dame several times as an announcer. I've been to announce a basketball game there. I've announced a hockey game there, and I played lacrosse in the stadium. So, like, I've been to South Bend. Like, even though I haven't been to a football game, you know, I've never been to Green Bay. There's the difference right there.
It actually is close for me because what's up, Uncle Randy? He grew up in Wisconsin, and he's a massive Packers guy. And then going to Wisconsin and doing the Green Bay stuff and seeing the stadium, I would love to see a game there. But, yeah, Notre Dame.
We will come back with the final segment. If you want to get on board, right now is the time to do it. 916-779-0929. Grant Napear, Fox Sports, Sacramento.
The new year is here, a fresh opportunity to tell people about your products and services so they know who to spend their money with. Fox Sports Radio has a Mount Rushmore of sports talk talent. Patrick, Cowherd, Gottlieb, and Sacramento's own Grant Napear, and they have an audience you can take to the bank. This is Fox Sports General Manager Kurt Bagelman. Sports Talk listeners are a unique, target-rich group of consumers. They're employed, they earn six-figure incomes, 2/3 own their own homes, and they listen to the radio longer. Let me repeat that. They listen longer, so your commercial message has more opportunity to be heard. It costs nothing to learn how a good strategy and a great schedule could help your business. So call me, 916-779-0914. 916-779-0914. Radio gets results, and we are here to help. Call 916-779-0914.
You've been saying you're going to pay better attention to your home's honeydews. Check one off your list right now by calling Gabrud Services to schedule a 12-point inspection of your home's electrical system. The safe rule of thumb is every 5 years for an inspection. If it's been 5 years or more, call Gabrud's now. A qualified technician will provide a thorough inspection of the electrical system to ensure it's safe or alert you to potential problems. At Gabrud's, electrical work is all we do. We are the area's recognized experts for anything electrical, and our number one priority is ensuring your home and family are safe. You've been saying you'll pay better attention to your home. Stop saying it. Make the call to Gabrud's. Talk with a real person and schedule your 12-point inspection today. Gabrud's, locally owned for more than 30 years. G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabrud's. G-U-B-R-U-D-S. Gabrud's.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer.
800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. 800-690-8445. That's 800-690-8445.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. Looking for the best happy hour in town? Head to Bennett's, where every day from 2 to 6, you'll find flavor, fun, and serious value. Enjoy over 10 wines by the glass, country club-style cocktails like lemon drops, skinny margaritas, and crave-worthy share plates. Short rib tacos, chicken wings, calamari, and more, starting at just $6. It's upscale without the uptight. 3 locations, Roseville, Rockland, and Sacramento. Join us today or check out the menu at bennettsrestaurants.com.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Final segment, 916-779-0929. Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com tomorrow. Don't forget, we replay hour number 1 at 6 o'clock. Let's get to some phone calls here. Hello, Ali. You're on with Grant Napear. Ali from Folsom.
Hey, Grant. How you doing, sir?
Good, Ali. Thank you.
What a timing. You played that closing time song and getting emotional hearing it again after that Bills Highmark Stadium closeout farewell.
Yeah.
You were playing that music at the end of the game. Anyways, a long-time listener, called you a show before. we talked about our defense the last time I called a couple weeks back. In regards to your question yesterday about Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, where is he going? To be honest, I was on the call yesterday, but I guess
John
I was
Harbaugh.
busy and I ended up hanging up. Yeah, John Harbaugh. Basically, if McDermott, I know he's got a long chemistry with Allen and goes back to Brandon Bean in Carolina, but if he botches a call or makes some questionable calls here and there, I mind seeing McDermott's been solid, but I wouldn't mind seeing a change there. And then hopefully John Harbaugh, I know there's a lot of teams interested. I wouldn't mind seeing a change there that if he does something again during this postseason.
Well, I think if the Bills lose to Jacksonville, I think McDermott's gone. I think they will make a change.
Yeah, that's what I have a feeling about it. He had a solid 8 years, but there's been some questionable things that he said and play calling here and there. So,
and
we'll
if I'm John Harbaugh and I've got a chance, if I want to coach, I'm going, and Buffalo is interested in me, that would be my number one destination because I know I got a franchise quarterback. Whereas Jackson Dart, I think, is going to be a franchise quarterback, but he's still young. You walk into Buffalo, you've got a team that's ready to win. The Giants are not ready to win. There's a big difference there.
Yep. I appreciate the call, Grant. Take care.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. What do you think about that, Ryan? If the Bills lose, you think Sean McDermott would be let go? I do.
Yes, I do.
Yep. And I'll make another statement here. I think if the Pittsburgh Steelers are unimpressive at home or lose to the Texans, which I think will happen, I could see the Steelers going in a different direction. I really could. There's been a lot of rumors about Mike Tomlin.
It was really funny. We got the message yesterday about had the kick gone in. It might have been Tomlin. So now there's a graphic floating around the internet with the uprights. So to the left of the upright, it says fire Harbaugh. The middle is fire Tomlin, and the right's fire Harbaugh.
But the fact that they won the division and made the playoffs would quickly be out of everyone's mind and memory, even though they beat their arch rival, if they don't play well at home in this playoff game. And I don't like this matchup from the Steelers' perspective. I think the Houston defense will control this game, and I think that they are going to make life very, very difficult. I think it's a very difficult spot.
If you're John Harbaugh, are you going to wait to see how this stuff kind of plays out with the playoffs and maybe that Buffalo job is open, as Ali said?
Sure. Absolutely.
No rush?
No rush at all. I think the Giants are highly interested in Kevin Stefanski, but I mean, if I could hire Kevin Stefanski or John Harbaugh, I'm hiring John Harbaugh. The question is, what does Harbaugh want for his legacy? So, he was in one team, he was in one place for 18 years. Does he want to go into a franchise that has a rich tradition with the Giants, who he knows he's got a really promising, good quarterback with assuming that he comes back from his knee injury fine, which based on history, he will, Malik Neighbors, a team that has good draft capital, has good youth, in a division that I think you could really elevate overnight in? Or does he want to go to a made-to-win-now team like Buffalo? Like if those were the two options. Like from a challenge aspect of being a coach, you got the new stadium in Buffalo, you got a new era, you got a lot of things going on in Buffalo, whereas the Giants have been a doormat since they won their last Super Bowl in 2011. And you could put your stamp on that franchise. Very interesting to see where he might end up. But he's going to be coaching, that's for sure.
Or does he want to ride off with 18 years with the same franchise like Bill Cowher and go make a ton of money on TV?
Yeah. I think he's going to coach. That's who he is.
I think so, too. You know what's crazy? Wasn't this like the hiring season that we thought Bill Belichick might be headed back to the NFL? Think about that fall of grace.
Yeah. I didn't even, you're right about that with all the jobs coming up and the disaster that was North Carolina.
Yeah.
What do you think? Not going to happen, right?
Never. I don't think you will see him back in the NFL. This thing, remember what Chris Landry said? He said toxic.
Yeah, toxic. And you know what? In North Carolina, they would love if he left.
I'm
Right?
surprised. Well, okay, we don't know what the truth is, but I'm not going to compare it to Michigan because you can't. But you got to think if any of that's true, there's got to be some wiggle room to fire him for cause.
What would be the cause?
Not having assistants basically coach the team, not doing meetings, not doing your job.
I don't know.
I don't know. Again, we don't know what's true or not, but
That's above my pay grade to make that type of comment on the air. I can't say.
Toxic is a strong word, though.
It is a strong word. Yes. Yep. It is a strong word. Speaking of strong, that's Village Financial Group when it comes to your real estate needs, buying a home, selling a home equity line of credit. Yeah. 25 years. Spencer's been going strong as the broker owner at Village Financial Group. That's when he began his family-owned business. I love talking about him being a specialist. His financing acumen is incredible. He's very creative. He is a financing specialist. And keep in mind that Spence has access to private money. Give him a call or text him at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. Be sure and ask about the investor special. It's all there for you at Village Financial Group. Over 9,000 properties available. You can go on their website, bfgloans.com. You can check them all out and all the other information with the business. Again, broker owner Spencer Grimmenstein, give him a call. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Tomorrow, college football playoffs will move to center stage. We will talk a lot about that with Chris Landry, LandryFootball.com. And what do you think? Who's going to be left standing? Will Indiana continue on their Cinderella season? Will they move on and play for the national championship? Miami, Ole Miss, Oregon, Indiana. I like Indiana's position. Right now, I'm not so sure I'd want to be hooking up in a semifinal game with Miami. I like this matchup with Indiana and Oregon. It's a rematch. They won up there earlier in the year at Oregon, and here they are now on a neutral field. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know. I am really looking forward to these games.
Very much. Very much. Do you feel like it's dragging out too much?
Yes, it always does. College football, it's a real problem.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a real problem. There's no question about that. It's dragging out. And then, again, you have a game coming up, one day, then the next day. You don't want to play the games at the same time. You want both games in prime time.
Right.
So, tomorrow night, Friday night, and then you get the national championship game, which is not going to be until Monday the 19th?
See, that's the thing. It's the front end wait. Think about that for the athletes. You get close to a month off, and now you're playing weekly, and then you get another break. It's a really long time.
So it's technically the Fiesta Bowl for Miami and Ole Miss, and then the Peach Bowl, Oregon and Indiana.
So we have 5 minutes left. I don't know if you can do this in 5 minutes, but I keep getting the same DM from so many listeners, and I legitimately do not remember. Everybody's asking about Stanley. Can you explain Stanley?
Stanley was a delusional Dallas Cowboys fan and Miami Hurricanes fan. Delusional. He was very animated. Made me seem like I was in a slumber in the middle of a 10-hour sleep, okay? Extremely animated, big-time delusional with a capital D Cowboy fan, and a big-time delusional Miami Hurricane fan. And particularly during the football season, he would call me almost every week to talk about the Cowboys, and we had quite, to say it bluntly, an animated conversation from time to time. And he was a regular caller on my previous stop in Sacramento. So that's why. You don't remember him, huh?
I don't.
Wow.
No, I do not. Miami Hurricane fan. Maybe it'll pop up.
He was delusional. Yeah. He thought Danny Fortson was Bill Russell. He thought that, I don't even remember the quarterback's name anymore for Dallas. Quincy, whatever the heck his name was going to be the next, Joe Montana. And Tony Romo was this and Tony Romo was that. I used to tell him every training camp, your team's done. You're not going to win anything. You'd be calling up. And then I after they would lose and get eliminated from the playoffs, I'm like, Stanley, where are you today? How come you're not calling? And then he would get all huffy and puffy and end up calling and goes, well, I was busy and I was going to call you. But, well, Stanley, the game was on Sunday. It's now Friday. You waited all week to call me. You were busy all week. You couldn't call. Yeah, well, I work and I couldn't get in to call you. And, I'm like, Stanley, you know what? You're gutless. That's your problem. You're too gutless to call right after the game. You know it and I know it. So don't be making excuses that you had to wait 5 days to call me because you were work or busy. You're not busy every day. You should call me. So that's the way it was.
It sounds like the makings, if podcasting was around back in the day, of a great podcast. You too.
Wow.
Just going back and forth.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened to him.
More animated than you and Mad Dog going back and forth?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Not even close. Not even close. Yeah. Yep. Not even close. I mean, Mad Dog and well, we're like in kindergarten compared to yeah, no, absolutely. No. Chris was really Chris was loud outside of the classroom. Quiet can be in the classroom. When we were at Split Rock School in grade school, I was the one that got in trouble a lot for talking too much. And I was being sent down to actually, it wasn't, they would make us stand outside in the hallway for a timeout.
Yeah.
So the teacher would make me go stand in the hallway and you would have to face the wall. So like you're a little kid, you're in second grade and I'm standing out in the hallway, with my face up against the brick wall. Seriously. That was, to show you how old I am, my second grade teacher, Mrs. Hefner, she was an elderly lady at the time. So she was at the end of her career. And if you were not behaving, or she would call you up in front of the room and she would take her ruler out and you had to put your hands out and she would smack your knuckles with the ruler.
In front of the entire class?
Oh, yeah, in front of the entire class. Absolutely. Can you imagine if that happened now?
Oh, my gosh. You would, it'd be viral. You'd have 30 lawsuits from all the kids, parents, emotional damage for the kids that didn't get hit. Yeah, it'd be nuts.
You know what else we had in grade school in the 60s?
What's that?
With everything that was going on with the Cuban Missile Crisis in the early 60s that was averted and everything else, we had drills where the alarm would go off and we would have to have a drill where we would all hide under our desks in a crouched position with our hands locked behind our head. And that was a memory that I had in grade school. Now you have drills, unfortunately, in schools as it relates to lockdowns for the tragic shootings that we've had in this country in our schools. It's different, but back then it was for a completely different reason.
It's the worst text you can get as a parent that a school's on lockdown.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
And it can be for something that happened in the neighborhood that's not related to the school. It's just the last text you ever want to see.
My first text was from Brian. My last text from Brian. Grant, this is Brian. I'm still listening. When I was growing up, it was just like that for me. I'm only 53, but I remember getting smacked myself with a ruler by my teacher. Brian, love your support, man. 3 hours. That's a loyal listener right there. Talk to you tomorrow. My thanks to Olden Polonies. For Ryan in Sacktown, Grant Napear, so long. Thanks for listening to Fox Sports Sacramento. Bye-bye.
The team at Downtown Ford Sacramento wishes you a phenomenal 2026. And what better way to ring in the new year than to treat yourself to a new or pre-owned Ford car or truck? See, the new year means we got to get rid of all these 2025 vehicles to make room for the new 2026 ones. So now's the time to get a crazy deal on a 2025 Ford that is still brand new. And we've got an awesome finance team here, always ready to help you get into the vehicle you want. And look, if you've had your eye on a Ford car or truck, but you're not yet ready to get into a brand new one just yet, odds are we've got a gently used version of that same car or truck right here on site for substantially less. Once you got your Ford, our top-notch service department will keep it running like it's brand new for as long as you own it. With more than 100 years of service to Sacramento, we're Downtown Ford on Howe Avenue next to the How About Arden Shopping Center. DowntownFordSacramento.com.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now, with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free